10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
We're back. We did it. We made it. Woo! To the finale of season 50, a day we thought would never come, maybe hoped would never come, because I've been having a lot of fun this season, despite what everyone online is saying. This is our biggest season of the league yet. This is episode 31 of whatever the hell this show is. The League Has Spoken. Companion show feels generous. That feels like it's like a real established thing, and it's not. This is the recap that we started doing to go along with our Fantasy Survivor League for all the people in our league that maybe miss an episode or are too lazy to watch. And then we also go over league stuff at the end, but it's really primarily to recap the episodes. Anyway, enough from me. Going into the finale, my name is Pat, and in our league, I had Jonathan on my team, and that was it. Joining me, as most of the time, not always, but most of the time, is my other co-host, Kyla, coming to you live from Georgia with freshly painted nails. Kyla, show them off.
Oh, wait.
There's like on camera.
Oh,
they're sparkly pink.
Beautiful.
And the piggies to match.
Yes.
No, they're white.
Now show us your toes.
Oh,
no,
okay.
just kidding.
You can't get that for free,
That's
YouTube.
Yeah, you have to subscribe to Ozzy's page to get Kyla's toes. Sorry, we're shooting them off today. I'm not even going to edit this out of the podcast. Our other co-host, Bree, is currently packing for a trip with Kyla and Megan. She will join us later for Bree's Superlatives, but logistics-wise, she was spread too thin. But we will get her thoughts later on the finale and on the league. In her place, we thought it only fitting to bring in two of our special contributors, two of the three Calabrese siblings, coming to you live in the bottom left corner of my screen. I don't know how it's set up for y'all. Is Megan.
Hello, everyone.
Wow,
get ready
such a
for
grand
some
entrance.
Get ready for some good tea time today, everyone.
And I didn't give them an opportunity, but Kyla and Megan, you, and I'm not rubbing this in your face, but you had no one on your team going into this week?
No one.
Yeah, it's accurate.
We were on exile.
Which
We've been on exile in case anyone was
no. You've been on exile for like a week. Kyla's set up shop there.
Megan was a solid 2 weeks.
Yeah,
she did have,
weeks.
she had to sit through 5 hours of television, unfortunately, with no Ozzy.
Mm-hmm. No Ozzy.
I'm a little jealous of you guys because I felt this finale was very stressful for me for reasons that are my own doing, because we made this league to, like, I don't know, have something to do in our free time. And I kind of wish I could just watch for fun, like pure fun.
Aww.
Sometimes. But we got to get to our other special contributor. The one, the only, coming to you in Technicolor today, because it's daylight when we recorded, is
finally.
Mikey.
Hello, everyone. So we'll get into it. We haven't done spoilers yet. I have Tiff still on my team at this point in the episode.
All right, so
There she is.
we have a lot to get through. We're going to try and keep it relatively succinct because it's basically 2.5 episodes. It'll go through the round of 5, the round of 4, and final tribal. There's a lot to talk about, but we're going to try and rip through this. Not because we don't care, but just because we can't make this podcast 3 hours. So I'm going to put Kyla in charge of keeping us on track. Kyla, if you feel like we're talking too long about something and it's not interesting, then just tell us to move on.
Okay.
This is a great.
Megan,
I'll do that very
And if you're
nicely.
at home and you think we're spending too long on something and we're not interesting, just go do something else. Turn it off. You chose to be here.
No,
So-
keep it
Fast
on.
forward.
Give us
Yeah.
some
Fast forward.
Oh
constructive
yeah, actually,
feedback.
Kyla's right. We desperately need the views. So keep
We
it
need
on
those
mute
tens
in
of
the
views.
background and go do something else.
Or watch on double speed, right? Give like those audiobooks. No one listens to them on
I
single
listen on
speed.
one speed. The one time I listen to an audiobook. Do you
Ooh,
listen on? Do you
Bulge.
listen on 2 times speed? So,
One
so
of the
everyone sound
guys
like
in
a
my
chipmunk?
book club
So
does.
they're reading the book like this. Done with the book.
Yeah, I do.
You do. I thought that was
do.
just
I do.
people with ADHD.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Well-
say that, Kyla.
Two things can be
Unfortunately,
true,
I do
Kyla.
think all 3 Calabrese children may or may not have undiagnosed,
ADHD.
heavily peer reviewed. Heavily peer reviewed.
And on that note, that's a great transition point to the episode. No, it's not. So, spoiler warnings going up now. All right. I know y'all have a lot to say, so I'm going to try and I say this every week and it's never true. I'm going to try and narrate what's going on, and you all just jump in with your thoughts. I'm going to try and keep my thoughts to a minimum, which will not last very long. So, we start the finale. And it's nighttime, and Rizzo takes credit for a blindside that's not really a blindside. Immediately giving my own thoughts.
No, because BS, correct.
Let
That
me-
was
agree with you.
the dumbest thing I've ever heard him say.
Let me go through nighttime, and then you all jump in. So at nighttime, so Rizzo takes credit for this blindside that's not a blindside. And then I have in my notes that Tiff nears Sandra territory of reacting to the vote from the previous night. To the point where she's like, and snake ass Aubrey turned on me, which was great. Go.
Now we can talk.
No, I'll let the rest go because I have thoughts. I watched it back over.
Mikey has
and I
thoughts
have
on Tiffany?
I
That's
was
crazy.
I was so sad because so I watched with Bree and Pat. We all watched together, and the 3 of us all looked at each other and we're like,
at one
"What
time
happened?" At one time speed, we watched together, but we all were just like, "What happened?" Like, I feel like Tiff was doing such a good job of like not doing that. Like, I think we talked about it. We were worried she was going to do that after watching her in 46. We were like, she can get really hyped, which is fine. Like, it's a lot happening, but she just kind of like boiled over, and we were like, this is not going to go.
And she had
over
handled
well
the
with
Camilla
everyone.
vote out really well too.
Oh,
There was
so
a few
well,
votes
yes.
that she handled really well. I think it was
The D
Correct.
one.
D.
Yeah.
Camilla. Kyla, do you have anything before I hop on in my defense of Tiff and her actions?
Well, because
Oh, boy.
what I will say in my notes is, why is everyone acting like she's crazy though? She has a
You.
right to be mad. Now you go,
Right.
Mikey.
So to go off of that, all she does is throw her stuff back in the middle. Doesn't say anything to anyone. Right? Is like walking at the front. They all go, "How do we handle this?" And Joe goes, "Tiff, do you want to talk about it?" She says, "Nope, drop it." All you had to do was drop it. But Aubrey, being a smart enough player that she is, egged her on and knew that she could get her to crack. And she poked her enough to say, if you want to talk about it, I'm open to talking. My name was written too. And so Tiff called Aubrey out to be like, and you should ask yourself why. Because again, like Tiff isn't that dumb. Like, yes, she overreacted, but she at least was like, Aubrey, she literally said, she was like, if I wasn't immune, I was going home today, yes or no? And Aubrey goes, yep. So it's like, I don't get why they're all calling her crazy when all she literally proved was herself right. That like, if she didn't win immunity, she was going home. So yes, she has the ability to be mad. Like, it was finally just her kind of cracking of like, you literally all 4 just ganged up against me to try to beat me in a challenge, lost, got made to look stupid, and now one of my closest allies is gone. It sucks. Leave me alone. And they didn't leave her alone. To me, that's
I will
not
say it's
crazy.
a lot-
That's just a normal human reaction.
Yeah, it is a lot easier too, like us sitting on the couch being like, oh, that's not the play. Like, I'm sure if that happened to me, I'd be pissed. So it's hard to like,
Mm.
It
you
is
know,
also day 23, right? Night 23.
yeah.
Like, girl is also on edge. All five of them were.
Hmm.
That's
But
interesting.
Rizzo sounded so
You might have
stupid,
swayed me because
right? Like,
I was thinking the opposite. I was like, horrible play from Tiffany
Hmm.
because I read it as, and again, this is with the acknowledgement that you've now changed my mind a little bit. So before hop off, but I read it as like, how could you possibly be that upset that Suri went home? Because that
hmm,
like she's a smart player, so there's no way she's gonna
right.
understand that was the right move for everyone. Like, what else were they gonna do
Hmm.
to keep Suri?
Yeah,
Like, how could you be that? It's like you shouldn't be surprised. But you know what,
correct.
Mikey, you've swayed me a little bit. I guess she was. I hadn't considered her being egged on as much
Yeah,
as she was.
it was
But
more
that
of
was
just getting
also
poked.
Sari being there was Tiff's only way to make, unless she won immunity or Sari
Yeah,
Right. The
being there,
numbers,
she didn't have
yeah.
the numbers.
She
So
had
she
0 numbers
knew she
left.
was
Yeah.
gone or
Hmm.
had to win.
yeah, that's also true. Yeah.
Because like Megan and I were talking about how like that was like her Tiff was low key playing a Savannah game at this point, like, and then
Yeah.
Savannah at least kept her allies with her until Final Five,
Mhm.
and Tiff just lost hers back to back
Yeah,
weeks.
that's
You know what I
fair.
mean? Or back to back tribals. So it was like kind of
Hmm.
her bomb setting off in her brain of like, oh, this $2 million just
I'm
went down the
done.
toilet. Yeah.
That's fair.
Hmm.
Again, I read it as her being upset about the Cerevo. I didn't read it as her being upset that her options severely shrunk. That makes a
Yeah.
lot more sense to me. I'll give that one to you. Point, Mikey. I had the breakdown alert
Appreciate
queued
it.
up and everything, but we're not going to use it. Not yet. We
Oh
will
no, it
use
comes
it.
later.
We'll
Not
Don't
use
yet.
worry.
it.
Not
I
yet.
want to use it for someone in the show, not for one of us. And so far it's
Fair.
been us.
It's been us.
All right. So nothing really that interesting happens in the day, which leads us to our first instance of challenge time with Kyla.
Yes, it does. All right. So first, the each player is going to climb on top of a tower, and we have a new survivor feature.
Mhm.
I don't want to call it a game, like part of a
Right.
game, called the fishing pole. So they
I
have
would
to
say it was the
actually,
most game-like part of a challenge in a while.
Mm.
yeah, it was interesting. So they have to use this fishing pole to bring up a machete. Then they have to use the machete to chop a rope to release a ramp. Then they have to climb through a muddy, twisted net, collect sandbags on top of this tall pole, and then use those sandbags to knock over three targets. They're going to release keys from those targets and unlock ladder rings, complete a ladder puzzle, and then complete another puzzle. What a challenge! Just
Huge.
it
Yes.
is a lot of
Massive.
puzzles.
Before you get into how it goes,
Yeah.
Megan, Bree, and I, maybe you two, noticed something about the immunity necklace. Did they change it for this episode?
So
Is there
wait, you
like
mean like
there's
with
a
the
gem in the middle? Was that gem always
yeah, right?
there?
The stomach of the phoenix. I don't
Is
know
that
if it was
new?
just the way the
I didn't
light was
notice it.
caught in it. I didn't pay enough
There was like
attention
a
to previous
ruby kind of
episodes.
thing in it.
But
I've
yeah,
never noticed that before.
I will have to go back and look at that. I
Yeah,
didn't notice it at all. Okay,
continue.
well, yeah, the challenge starts. Jonathan's quickly in the lead here. He's the first to get his machete up. One big chop, and you know that ramp's being released because that's all Jonathan needs. But Tiff and Joe are shortly, behind with Rizzo and Aubrey trailing pretty much the whole time.
by a lot.
Yeah,
It was
Jonathan,
very satisfying chop, by the way.
very
Like,
Yes.
satisfying chop.
right.
Is that
Not.
the GIF?
No, I almost was.
Uh,
The GIF is
Oh.
like just after this.
it's
There's a
Okay.
I
slightly
am
better
Okay.
Jonathan moment.
I imagine.
Okay.
I'm not going to say anything about the net. I actually thought it was pretty interesting, the twist, but nothing.
Yeah.
A lot doesn't really happen in there.
I was shocked Rizzo
I think
didn't
it was his
drown in the
muscles.
mud.
I think it was his
Yes.
muscles unraveled the net, and his was not nearly as twisted as like Aubrey and Rizzo were.
Jonathan.
They look
It's
like fish. They look like they
So
were
like
dying.
the twist is crazy. I'm surprised there's not like a bigger like safety issue with the twist
Yeah.
and that heavy
Mhm.
mud. I was like, there's no way
Underwater.
Rizzo gets out of this.
Meanwhile,
He's
Jeff
stuck.
is screaming at them. It's a
Yes.
twist in that twist. Jeff is dying.
Twist!
He's literally drowning in mud.
And the best Jonathan moment is when he runs over to the pole and almost literally takes it out of the ground. And I imagine that is our challenge
That
gif
is
of
the challenge
week.
gif. It was almost the chop, and then he almost knocked the pole over. I was
Yeah.
Snapped
shocked.
it like a twig.
It felt like they were like, we need one more element in the middle of this. Do we have them like throw something? They're already throwing something. Why don't they just run full speed into a pole?
Chocolate.
That sounds
Uh,
great.
Can I propose that we juxtapose Rizzo and Jonathan's running into the pole where Jonathan almost takes the pole out and the pole almost takes Rizzo out?
I think Tiff is the next one at the pole and throwing sandbags, and then Aubrey's the last one to get past this, and she's kind of just shaking the pole. Very, very tough time for Aubrey. Jonathan's the first with his ladder rings, then there's Joe and Tiff pretty quickly behind. Jonathan's already on the last piece of his ladder by the time most of the others get their ladder pieces released. He is
He
absolutely
also, did you
killing
see
this
he takes all the
challenge.
pieces out at once?
He missed one.
He
And
missed
then
one?
Joe,
But
Joe did it
then
too.
Joe
But that was
one-upped
impressive.
him and took all of them. Yes, both of them
Yeah.
were like, whoop.
Yeah, I couldn't even
Also-
imagine.
I love the ladder puzzle challenges. I love when they have them in there. That's one of my favorite ones that they do. Hot take. I
Especially-
don't know if everyone agrees.
Well, especially when it's one person and they have to go back and forth because that's so
Yeah.
much more
Yeah.
exhausting. Like when it was like the double challenge, like with the bridge
When Jonathan was
pieces.
yelling
the
at
stairs.
Kristen.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That one was pretty
Yeah.
entertaining, though. That one was really
Entertaining because they were
entertaining.
yelling.
That had
But-
more to
but-
do with who was paired up than the actual
Yes.
mechanism.
Yeah.
But we didn't really get to see much of the
No.
ladder challenge. I do like these
No.
types of challenges though, because they're
Mhm.
different and fun, but they really didn't feature this much at all. I really couldn't even hardly
It
tell.
was like
I think it was
shot
the
from the
notches,
side, so you
right?
couldn't tell how the puzzle
And it was,
Right.
where the camera angle was. And
Yeah.
then just, I think the gap between them all at that point was also too much for them to keep up with.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
think about it, Jonathan started and Aubrey hadn't even gotten to the pole yet,
Right.
Mhm.
which is crazy.
It is crazy. Well, Jonathan, Joe, and Tiff are up on the puzzle. I mean, yeah, Aubrey and Rizzo are down there. Eventually, they make it up on the platform. But from here on out,
Rizzo
those
catches up
three.
though. There was a moment where when we were watching, we were like, when did Rizzo catch back up?
Maybe,
And especially,
but go
I
ahead.
think he caught up during the ladder puzzle too, which we were like shocked. We were like, I thought Rizzo couldn't do puzzles. Like, what
they just didn't
happened?
show him that much, and all of a sudden he's climbing up the ladder, and I was like, oh, I didn't know he finished that.
So
Yeah.
I will say, I just rewatched at least the first half, like up until the first tribal vote, and watching that challenge over again. Production did a very good job cutting to make it look closer than it was. Jonathan, Tiff, and Joe had about 12 pieces done before Rizzo got up there.
Yes.
So it was like they were like
Oh,
a
I see.
third or halfway done with their puzzle before Aubrey or Rizzo even get up to do their puzzle. So like the gap was,
That
I think,
makes me
way
feel better.
bigger. Yeah, the gap
Mhm.
was way bigger than production let on. So that was at least like good on their part. They made
I
it
think
look
so
more,
too. And the major thing that made it stand out for me is at one point when we're kind of in the last seconds of this challenge, and it's between the two people that I'll get to in a second. Rizzo's just watching,
He literally just stopped
Yeah,
doing anything.
Yeah,
he's
he
just
was.
He just
watching,
straight up watched.
That's kind of his
which makes
thing.
sense.
His thing
That
is
is
to
his thing.
watch
That
other
is his
people do
thing.
challenges.
He doesn't know
That
how
is
to do them.
Well, it was like Aubrey watching Joe and
With the
Joe
with the blocks.
last time, yeah.
Mhm.
So Jonathan pukes mid puzzle. We can't forget about that. Like he runs over and pukes off the side. That
Yeah,
was
but before we talk about finishing the puzzle, I want to tell you, as someone that has Jonathan on my team, which we're definitely going to talk about, I'm sure, at
sure.
Tribal, and there's going to be a moment where I quickly distance myself, but in this moment, I'm always excited because I'm like, I got the challenge beast on my team. But I'm going to tell you, at no point ever this season has because he usually gets to the end pretty quickly.
Always.
I don't think I've ever been more terrified for my point scoring than when Jonathan gets to the end and it's a puzzle first, because there has never been a lead big enough for me to go, I got this in the bag. I'm like, oh, the big man's got to do a puzzle now. Here we go.
Right.
He
Get ready
did.
for last
He had a
place.
sizable lead, like truly a
Mhm.
sizable. Like he had about 5 or 6 pieces done before Joe even gets there.
Right. But Tiff he only had a few when Tiff got there. And
No,
The
Joe
big
got there before Tiff.
oh
Jonathan was killing the beginning part of the puzzle, and then him and Joe,
yeah, I'm looking.
go for their
Hold on.
Yeah,
theory,
yeah.
their
We have to
methodology.
pause. We have to pause because Megan, hold that cup up again. Until this moment, and I don't know why I didn't bring it up earlier, you were drinking, I wouldn't say fast, but it was like, I didn't get a good look at it, and I was like, is she drinking sourdough starter? But it's just,
That would
it's
be
a yellow, but
hilarious.
it looks the same, and I was like, every time you take a drink, this is going to be great for the people only listening and not watching. Until this moment, I was like, what is she doing?
Sorry, everyone.
And do
He's
I
not
bring it up
moving
Yeah,
either.
just
publicly, or
slugging
should I
my-
address it off air? But I was wrong. Sorry, continue.
Yes, Mikey's right. My notes do say it's Jonathan, Joe, and then Tiff. The only really major thing is we start to realize that because this puzzle's kind of like a donut almost, the aerodynamic difficulty. I think that if Tiff wouldn't have done that bottom piece and gave herself some like strength down there, she would have been in more trouble. She would not have been able to keep up because
Agreed.
both of the guys were having to hold theirs up, and Tiff was able to like. I think that's how she caught up. Really,
Oh, yeah.
was not having to
I
hold up the puzzle.
Because like their entire outer frame, like it made sense. They gave them like guidelines, right? Essentially to follow. So it was like super easy
Yeah.
to do the outside ring first. But yeah,
Like when
as
you
if
do
you
a puzzle,
watch,
you do the edge first. Of
Yeah.
course, I would have
Right.
probably done that too.
because yeah, Tiff was super far behind them both. And then they both started like having their puzzles lean, and that's when she caught up, was because they were only doing it one-handed because they had to hold up their puzzles with their other hand.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it still didn't win her. The challenge came down to
Fortunately.
pretty much one,
Singular
or
puzzle piece.
some might
Depending
say
on who you have on your
fortunately.
team, that was a great sequence.
Correct.
That's true. Jonathan wins, and it literally comes down to one puzzle piece.
They're both jamming the last, like punching it in there.
I was
Yeah.
And Jonathan
really worried
Peter.
for Jonathan's puzzle structural integrity because he's just too
It
strong.
was so leaning when you watch it back, like the top. It's when he was like banging the last piece in. I thought it was gonna knock over. I
I
was
was
like, oh my
more
god.
worried that he was in moving his arm. It wasn't that he bangs a piece out. It's that his shoulder just like he's too big to be in the middle of the ring.
I do have this isn't tea time, but I have a lot of content for tea time, so we can just share this now. I was listening to all the things and they asked Tiff if she had any regrets, and she said the only regret she had is she redid her puzzle to make it more structurally sound, and they didn't show it.
Oh.
She literally
Oh.
took apart she took 12 pieces off and redid it so that it stood up, and she was kicking herself because she thinks if she didn't do that, she could have won.
Wow.
Which is crazy.
That is crazy.
I know. I felt
It
bad.
does
I was
speak
like,
to the
damn,
brain
that
power
sucks.
of Joe and Jonathan that it took them that long to
Well,
do that puzzle.
and
But
she
Redid
said
it
like that's why
twice.
Joe was talking about it so much. Like, you know how Jeff kept talking about like the structural integrity and everything. She said that's why he started talking about it, because she was like, I'm not going to be
That
able to
makes
hold
sense.
this up. I need
Because he
to.
said it like 800 times.
Yes.
Yes. And she said they just like cut that part out. I was like, wow, that's crazy. So
Damn.
just some bonus tea time, because like I said, tea time is a lot. So
All right. Anything else on the challenge before we continue?
No.
I hated watching Jonathan celebrate, by the way. That was actually disgusting to watch.
I
Like
didn't care.
screaming in front of all of their faces. I was like, you're
can
dumb.
I push back a little bit?
Mikey,
Just a little
Tiff
bit?
did that last week.
No, never mind. Megan can say what I was going to say.
Pink did it when four more people were working against her. That's what you celebrate. No one worked against Jonathan this go around.
No, you can't claim that though, because she immediately after was like, I didn't even know that was happening. So that was her reaction.
Yeah, right. She did it to save face when she said it.
I don't know. That didn't bother me at all that he did that.
Well, we'll see. It bothers some people.
Yeah. Take a vote. Take hand up if that bothered you.
Oh no, I'm not some people. I'm saying there are some people that
like it bothered you.
So
well, it bothered me enough, but I'm saying there's more important people that it bothered, and they decide more of the game than I do.
Well, anyway, this is going to be the contentious part of the episode. Let's go to Scrambo. So I have in my notes, and this is not me casting judgment. I'm just narrating what happens. They get back. I don't know if you caught it, but Tiffany throws her bag.
Yep. Similar to how she did the night before.
Yep. Throws her bag. Rizzo attempts to gerrymanage her and is very honest and is like, I can't beat you, so I'm not taking you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This is me purely talking about what was in camera. We'll talk about what was not in camera later.
Correct.
I wrote Tiffany's not wrong about Aubrey. She kind of tries to pitch. She knows that she's in trouble, so she tries to
only
pitch
option.
to Joe and Jonathan, knowing that Rizzo is pretty much not going with her. That they all need to be concerned about Aubrey. I wrote that Jonathan was really pushing it with his rice jar. His tongue's back in the jar again. I don't know if you noticed
Gross.
that.
Yeah.
It's
Like the whole thing.
But-
Just, oh my God.
again, he did just puke up the sea slug. Not to defend Jonathan, but his
Again,
stomach is really
the second
taking a
time.
beating.
Yeah,
this
that
back
sea
half
slug
of the
is.
episode.
Mm.
The sea slug was Tiffany's greatest ally, not Suri. It slowed him down on the puzzle. And before we get to Tribal, and I let you guys talk about Scrambo, there was again a cut back to the live reunion, and they had Mike White on TV, and to me, Mike White looked like a Who from Whoville. It was the way his face narrowed.
Yeah. My note on
Mike
that
White.
was Mike White. It was like what 4 a.m. in Parisian
Yeah.
time, so poor dude was struggling. And then my note on Scrambo was Aubrey like kind of like cut Tiff a little bit, saying how Aubrey was a mature Survivor player and that Tiff was scrambling, like trying to get votes, and I was like. Yes, Aubrey. Like, no, duh. She sees wouldn't you do the same if you literally did the same with Ozzy? So why are you making fun of how Tiff is playing this game? I I just thought it was weird that she like made the comment the way that she did because Tiff was like doing the only thing she could do, and that was using her previous relationship with Joe to try to get him to vote Aubrey. And I mean, hey, again, she gives a very valid argument of like Aubrey has an underdog story. Do you think like me or her, who do you think you could win against in a final three? Um, and I thought it was at least the only things that she could do. She at least tried to do it.
Mm. I will say this, and we talked already about how Tiffany was when they got back from Tribal the night before. And again, you've swayed me a little bit. I still think, had she been able to find a way to play it a little cooler, regardless of the fact that the people egged her on, this might have worked in Scrambo.
Mm.
But I
I
feel
did
like
put that too.
I disagree.
This isn't the only reason, or I think she would have at least had a better chance.
I do too.
But I feel like they were
I think she
already
could have convinced Joe.
they were already turned off to her. They were already turned
Right.
off to her.
Going
the night
into
bef-
this, yeah.
The night before did not help them.
I just think that it was preconceived. The other thing is, it was Aubrey was the one that planted the seed to get rid of Tiff, and that Tiff was going to be the one that beat them all. Like in the previous episode, she's the one that says, "Oh, we should vote Tiff if she doesn't win immunity." It was literally her idea from the jump. So like, I think they just had it made up in their minds 2 days prior that Tiff was going home, and then they just saw their opportunity to get rid of her when they could. And then there's some previous history with Jonathan and his way that he plays Survivor that Tiff was going home regardless.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything she could say that could sway, because she literally threw out to him, "I won't." Tiff does her Survivor homework. I don't know if anyone else paid attention to this. She is a true fan of the way that she pitched to all of them individually, explaining to Joe like Aubrey and how she was going to get the jury would vote for her because of her legacy that she had in Survivor, and she was robbed. She goes to Jonathan,
Mhm.
"I'm not going to put you in fire," which is a huge currency to him because he lost in
Mhm.
fire previously. So like it was the best way that she could have scrambled, but they just were already, minds were made up before they even got to the beach.
Yeah, I view it like what we said with Emily. Like she knew she was screwed and she did everything she could. It just
Yep.
didn't
Oh, yeah.
work, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
spoiler, but
Kyla,
I don't really have much to add. I think I could see both ways. I honestly do think it could have helped her. She would have had a better chance of discussing, but I kind of think at the same time she was doomed no matter what. So,
sure.
yeah. And that's why I was really sad that she didn't win the challenge.
Well, with that, let's go to Tribal. So we go to Tribal, and because I know there's been a lot of things that have come out online
After the fact.
to add context to after the fact, I feel like it is our responsibility to discuss those here. I'm sure Megan has some of them for tea time, but I'm stealing it. I am gonna
You
do my
can. I didn't
best.
have that for tea time.
Oh, really? That's interesting. All right. I'm gonna narrate what happens, and we will talk about what was aired. I think is the best way to do this responsibly.
Mhm.
Then we can talk about adding context with what we know now from interviews. Is that fair?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm gonna do my best to do this. Uh, Tiffany comes in and is very upset. To me, it was like a Rick Devens play, but it wasn't the same thing. She wasn't spreading secrets per se. She was just airing
Airing
her
it out.
feelings, which in camera felt like it was a shot at Rizzo. And I said this out loud when we were watching it because she says something of not specifically him or just him, but there was one point when she says, "People told me that like whatever Rizzo had said to her, she basically said," and because that's all we got in the episode, I felt there was a shot of Rizzo where you could see in his eyes where he knew he blew it in terms of like getting her vote later.
Yeah, because she said, I felt that I wasn't considered. I was just being managed. That was
Yes,
definitely
that's
her
yeah,
shot at Rizzo. I agree. I agree.
yes. And I wrote she's right to be mad, but I said it's probably not the look to play it like this. Again, based on what
Mm.
we saw in camera, I don't want to jump ahead. I wasn't sure because we had when we watched a discussion about how Rick Devens played it versus how she played it. And I said it's different when there's like 12 people
And
left
versus, yeah,
versus 5.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, and that's pretty much all that happens before they vote. So does anyone have anything else on what happens before they vote?
I was like more confused because the way, like you said, obviously a lot happened, but the way it came off on camera was like I was getting the impression she was mad that she was being voted out because she was a threat. And I was just confused because I was like, Tiff, that's why you wanted Ozzy out. That's why you guys voted Suri out. That's why, well, she didn't want Suri out, but like that's why everyone wanted Devins out and Ozzy. So I was like confused, you know what I mean? So I
Me
just
too.
was like, I don't understand that argument. And that's why I was like, I think Pat and I said we were like, what is happening? Like, this is not how Tiff has been playing. So we were confused.
I would agree that I was looking at it as she was showing or basically explaining to everyone, your arguments are so inconsistent that you need to like explain yourselves more if you're going to use stupid arguments like that. And like trying to open up the door to see if any of them would like speak on their, alliances or speak on their outside decision making, their ulterior motives. And obviously, like no one took the bait.
No one bit.
Yeah, which like makes sense. They shouldn't have. But like I viewed it as again, this was her last chance to like call them all out.
Yeah.
And then also like while she's sitting there, like, writings on the wall, knowing that her name is going to get written down, she also wanted the jury to see how poorly those four were all doing at managing the game this late in the game.
Which is fair.
Yeah, right. Is
Mhm.
like if she's, you know what I mean? If she's going, like, she wanted to at least explain, like, give the jury more of an insight of what did happen that they weren't seeing, than, like just seeing, oh my God, Tiff's name got written like down 4 times. What all happened, right? Like,
Yeah.
because the jury only sees them at tribal. So I think it was like she saw the opportunity to be like, here's how it all played out, and this is what's going on. Because, like, again, she used it as you're telling me it was 3 challenge wins. Joe has just as many challenge wins as I do. Like, why isn't he more of a threat? Basically, for them all to be like, oh, because Joe sucks at this game right now, and we know we can
He's a
beat
goat.
him. And he's right, and he's essentially the goat getting brought to a
Yes, he
final.
is.
But no one bit on that. So again, like kudos to Tiff, she at least was getting creative. But like, girl, the writing was on the wall. All your allies left. You didn't do a good enough job of making friends with the rest of the people in the game. Like, R.I.P. Tiff.
Yeah. Kyla?
I was with Megan. I was super confused at first, but I didn't think about it the way you said it, Mikey. Like that could have triggered and thinking about how it could have been like a Devers move, but I, nothing additional to add. It just stunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go to
Yeah.
the vote then, and then we'll talk about what happened off camera. So they vote, and Tiffany's going home unanimous. Uh, it's an uncomfortable walkout, as you would
Yeah.
expect after an uncomfortable tribal. It was hard to watch, but I'm sort of one of the people that's been like, I do appreciate an old school feeling to Tribal, and this was as close to that as we've gotten in a while. So while it was uncomfortable, it's also what a lot of people have been asking for. So can't have it both ways. So I will now attempt to narrate some more contexts as to what happened off camera. And before I do that, I feel the need to say I've been a proponent of Jonathan, partly because I feel like it needs to be interesting on the show. We can't all just gang up on one person.
Like
Mostly
the internet
because
does.
mostly because he's on my
Yeah.
team, and if you're not on your own team, then how can you expect other people to be on your own
True.
team? That's about as far as it goes, because there are
Yep.
some things that were said that I want to be very clear. The Q skirts are not down with. I want to really, when I'm advocating for Jonathan, I'm advocating for my team to win points. I am
Right.
not backing what happened.
The person.
Yes, I am not. So I will give you, there's one interview I know we all heard about, and there's another one I don't know that you all heard about. I'm going to give you what was said at both, and I will let you judge what was saving face, what was really intended. I know where I stand. I'm not down with it. So they asked Tiffany about basically what she said at Tribal, specifically about the thing that I thought was directed specifically at Rizzo, but it turns out it was also directed at Jonathan, because what she said is that basically she was told, because you're a girl, you're not going, which is in line with a lot of how people perceive. I'm going to be honest, I stopped towards the end of 42 because I didn't like most of the people on there. So I didn't necessarily watch some of the specific scenes that people have called back to, but depending on how you watch that show, you could absolutely extrapolate that Jonathan has, whether it was on purpose or not, been misogynistic in the past in this game. So that would be in line with what he's done before. There's also a clip that's now online that you can pretty easily find of when Jonathan was 14. He was on a Nickelodeon game show in which he is talking to a girl in the way that you would think a 14-year-old boy from Alabama would talk to a girl, which is to say it's very uncomfortable. And he's basically not accepting what she's saying as valid just because he's him. Not down with that. We can talk about that until the cows come home. I'm just saying I'm not down with that. Correct. I also did see an interview, which could also easily be read as saving face. I'm not trying to excuse any of his behavior, past or present. But he attempted to also clarify that conversation, which never made it to air, and this is something that, best case scenario, he still, even if this is what he truly meant, delivered wrong. So it doesn't really matter what his intent was. It came across as, you're a girl, so I'm not taking you. That's not okay. But his intent might have been that, looking at the challenges, specifically the comment about 3 and 3, Tiffany has 3 challenge wins. The record for women is 4.
Was 4.
Joe has 3 challenge wins, but the record for men is 5, and overall is 8 or 9. So in that way, from a number standpoint, and I don't even know if I agree with this. Again, I'm just best case scenario. He's trying to say Tiffany's challenge wins, her 3 look better compared to Joe's 3. But even in a best case scenario, that's still such a flimsy argument that was delivered incorrectly. When there were, and this is Bree and I talked about this a lot, so I have a lot to say, is Bree pointed out, even if he means that, there are so many other more valid reasons to get Tiff out, like Rizzo said, I can't beat you, that it just, even in a best case scenario, his decision making here was terrible. But they didn't air it, so we never saw it.
Correct. Because also, and anyone correct me if I'm wrong, Tiff, of the individual immunity challenges, only 3 women won individual immunity, right, in the season? Up to that point.
I
think
don't remember.
Didn't only 3 people win in general? Her, Joe, and Jonathan? I don't think anyone else won.
No, Ozzy won individual. Steph won individual during the blood moon. Right. So, but I think Steph was the only other. Maybe it was Steph was the only. No, D had won at 1.2. I think.
I truly don't remember.
Yeah. No. D. Sorry, it was only at that point. D and Steph were the only women to win individual immunity. Up to.
Uh-oh.
that point.
Oh, Mikey,
Oh,
So
you
like,
froze.
oh
Repeat
no,
that.
did I
You go back
freeze?
30 seconds. You froze.
Okay, am
you
I back?
froze.
Sorry, I froze. So like, if you're looking at it from a women's winnings in the current season that we're in, like only 3 women had won individual immunity at that point, and Tiff had a majority of the women's wins. So like
Mm,
if and again, Tiff said it in her interview. If Jonathan was able to articulate that, she would have been like, "Yeah, okay, that's valid, right? I'm the strongest woman left by far." But like the fact that you just told her straight up, "Oh, it's because you're a girl, and this is basically a boys' club," she was like, "Yeah, you suck, and I'm at least happy that I got to show the jury that you suck." Like,
yes.
I at
Fair.
least got it off my chest. And then
Yeah.
two tribals prior, Jonathan's like laughing and saying, "Oh, Tiff, I just appreciate how blunt you are." And then when she's blunt calling you out, Jonathan, you get all butthurt and you're like, "Oh, it's not personal, Tiff. It's not personally again."
He
No, duh. She knows
he
it's not.
he might
She's
have had
telling you as a
flashbacks.
player, you look foolish.
He might have been having flashbacks in that moment to a very specific tribal council he was in episode 42 or season 42, where he just clearly was not on the same page as everyone else in terms of his social awareness. And he
Mm.
just like,
Yep.
I don't want to get into it now, is not the time. But I think
Oh,
he
yeah.
found himself, he's like, oh no, it's happening again.
Mhm.
Anyway,
I will say I did see Tiff talking about it, and I think her and Jonathan have made amends. She
Yeah.
kind of said that's why she was mad, but she said like I talked to Jonathan and like he came, like basically what you said, Pat. Like he said this, but I don't believe that those were his intentions. And we've since talked about it, how he could have just said what Rizzo said, and I wouldn't have been as offended.
Right.
So I do think that they've made amends. So, or to the best of their
Amends
abilities.
get made for sure.
Yeah.
Kyla?
I feel like that's probably just like let's
Being
be
You
polite
think it's
in
cordial.
just
front
for
of
the
camera,
cameras,
Yeah,
right?
Kyla?
like
Sure.
co-parenting situation. Like you're not actually friends. You're just can be around each other because you both want to be invited back.
Right.
But
Well, that's
anyway,
also true.
That's
They do
that's
want to be
that's a fair
invited.
take.
Hmm.
Well, are we good with this? Not
yeah.
emotionally, but in terms of time spent.
Yeah.
Time
Yes.
spent. Let's move on.
All right, Kyla says, let's move on. Good news, the next section, so we come back to the beach and nothing happens. It's just good vibes, and they get tree mail, and that's it. So let's keep rolling. It's once again challenge time with Kyla.
Yeah, and we got this emotion.
Wait, sorry,
Let's
Kyla, before you get into it, how excited was everyone when you saw the contraptions on like the pan in? I got
Yes.
so excited.
I always
So
knew it would be this
excited.
one, because the fan vote was between this and like two others that just Emotion is.
The Plinko,
It's
right? Plinko board?
I really like the Plinko, the one from, was that 46?
46, I
and like
think.
does this
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yep.
did really like it because it felt more unique. I'm admittedly a little tired of Samotion just because we get it a lot, but on the other hand,
Ooh,
I like. I also do
it's a
love it.
classic. Yeah.
It's so
Mhm.
classic. When I saw that in the voting options, it was never a world where even the most
It
toxic
wasn't gonna win.
Survivor fans online love Samotion. It's the one thing
It's
we're all
so good.
unified on.
Yeah.
It was always getting voted for.
So if you're out there and you haven't watched and you don't know what Samotion is, basically each person's going to have their hand tied behind their back. They must drop a ball into this metal chute, and then the ball will kind of travel down this spiraling metal track. And then it has 2 points of exit. And so each time a ball exits, it changes direction in a turnstile, and you have to catch it at each side. So slowly, a ball will continue to be added in time intervals. It's pretty simple, I'll
Yeah,
call it, of a complicated contraption, but simple challenge.
it's a
Um,
test of concentration and timing.
Yep.
yes. We get a lot of like snapping left, right. It's very interesting in terms of how they kind of do this production wise, but everyone
Hmm.
does pretty good. Like we make it all the way
Yes.
to
4, right?
four.
Everyone gets a four.
Yeah.
Four balls.
I
Crazy.
was so impressed. Yeah.
So I was so entertained
Thought
watching it.
Rizzo
I
was
was
going to
like, oh
be
my
out
God.
way
Yeah. He
Right.
quicker.
did
I would
so
have thought he
good.
would have, but like they
It's the
all had
least
their own
physical
strategies.
challenge. That's why he was fine.
True.
And
Mhm.
it's a classic, so it's something that
Yeah.
Rizzo definitely would have already known about. So yeah, Jonathan is actually the first to go. He drops during the four, and then Rizzo drops during four as well, and we're on five balls. Um,
Can I
both?
say, can I jump in
Yeah,
and say,
of course.
because there was a lot of discussion when we watched this in our living room, that it felt like some of them were kind of rushing to put the extra ball in when it was time. But we
Yes.
thought they were all doing a good
Mhm.
job of like what we think they were doing is like, let me get it in there so I don't miss the transition. And then
Mhm.
as balls are coming out, I can kind of slowly try and space them out a little bit more to make the
Yeah.
time easier,
Yeah.
which is
Mhm.
very
Yeah.
smart.
Yeah, they were all doing well with that. They were like 1, 2, 3, drop. Yeah.
Right. Jonathan used the snap method, and I don't know how
Mhm.
great of a method that is considering you only have the one hand. Like, stop snapping and get your hand ready to catch the ball, dude.
I think it was
I
great
kinda
early
like
on
it.
when it was like 1 or 2 balls.
Yeah, like he once it got to 3 and 4, I was like, dude, it's going too fast for you to snap count. Like, and how are you snapping to keep count of 4 different times? It was one thing to like snap, you know what I mean, to count in your head, but like by that point, there's too much going on that it doesn't actually help you, you know? You can only keep track of one ball.
Yeah, I would need the left-right method. I would need to say it out
Mhm.
loud too because
Yeah, and
so
that's
many
what
other people are saying it.
Joe and Aubrey, I think, both used that method, which
Mhm.
coincidentally,
Mhm.
they were 1 and 2 for a reason. So
Mhm. Mhm.
maybe something works with that one.
You also have Jeff during the challenge yelling out left, right. So you kind of have to yell it out, or you're gonna be like, wait, what did my brain just say?
Yeah, Jeff
Mhm.
Um,
tried his hardest to get involved.
for sure. The only thing about this challenge is it's not very entertaining to explain
Mm.
because pretty much like just one hit Joe's hand, he dropped it. So on the fifth ball, Joe's out. Aubrey wins.
Was this her
And then
first ever immunity win, or maybe second?
she
Second.
won another one this
I'm gonna
season,
say
right?
Game
Megan's got the
changers.
stats. Yep.
No,
No,
she
not
only
this
has
season.
ever won. No, she's only ever won one challenge. She won in Game Changers. She won the card. You know when they have to hold the balance beam and build the card stack? You know which one I'm
They don't
talking
really do that
about?
anymore, but I know what you're talking about.
Such a good challenge.
That's
Yeah.
the one that she won. I know I remember
Ah,
distinctly because she was so happy she won because Cochran was her favorite player and Cochran won that one in his winning season. So she was like, just like my boyfriend Cochran. And I was like, oh, okay.
oh, that's funny. But then Aubrey also reveals that she had ordered a Samotion and practiced off of
Smart.
Etsy. You can
Etsy,
order a Samotion off Etsy.
shout out Etsy, man. What a plug. Aubrey really gave them the plug. That was such a good
That's so
confessional.
funny.
She was like, I have a secret. I was
Which
like, you go,
is
Aubrey, you go.
which not the confessional, but before I forget, is the challenge gift of the week. It usually is in the final challenge. It's the win of whoever won. It feels incorrect, especially when it's Aubrey's second ever win in her 4 seasons. So Aubrey winning and the emotion on her face, that was always going to be the challenge gift of the week.
Her
Or this
confessional was
challenge.
also really funny because she was like, I just had to peak at the right time. Girl, what challenge were you winning before this? You didn't intentionally throw challenges to then peak at the final one. Like, no, Aubrey.
I'll
You just fortunately lucked out that Samotion was a concentration challenge, not anything physical.
But
I'll
I
say
thought she was also saying that about her social game.
No,
Mhm.
fair. Yes, in one half of her game, it was definitely peaking at the right moment. In the challenge part of the game, girl, don't lie.
Yeah.
yeah.
Fair enough.
I thought it was ironic that she won because, and again, this wasn't necessarily why the whole vote out with Tiffany happened as discussed, but one of the arguments, the simpler arguments for getting Tiff out is you stand a better chance at beating Aubrey in a challenge in the last challenge than Tiffany, and then Aubrey goes ahead and wins the only challenge she wins.
Right at the
Crazy.
right time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sophie Bolardi, if you will.
Yeah.
True.
She
Um,
literally didn't win until that point either. Yep.
and
Crazy
it,
how it changed the game.
and it's at this point that Jeff also reveals there will be fire making.
There will be fire making.
Poor
What
Rizzo's
was
face.
it was
I felt really
choice.
bad.
The choice was just
Or
between
a
a
vote
regular
out.
vote out. Yeah, right. Regular
Yeah.
vote out and fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like him and Jonathan literally like pooped in whatever was left in their systems came out one end after Jeff said fire.
Yep.
Rizzo's
Which
face was so sad.
we
I
can
was
talk
like,
about
oh,
now
buddy.
unless we can talk about that now unless anyone has anything else in the challenge.
No.
The only other thing about the challenge that I thought was funny, and I definitely said this to you and Bree, was no one untied her arm. Like everyone was hugging her.
yeah.
Yeah. She's literally like hugging everyone one-handed.
Yeah, I was like, someone help her. That was the only thing I
That's
asked.
true. That's funny. All right, so we move on to Scrambo, which is always a unique Scrambo when they do fire making because it's the people that win play it so differently. I've seen people send themselves in. I've seen people not tell anyone who's going. I've seen them be told straight up front. And it seems like no matter what you do, it's always a bad choice. I feel like
there's arguments always of like if
For
it's good or
sure.
bad, right?
How could there not be? Aubrey decides she's taking Joe, which is a good call.
Ooh, funny. I thought that was like bizarre.
Really?
Okay, explain.
I
Joe
disagree.
had the weakest. To me, Joe had the weakest game going in. So
Exactly.
even if he won, but even if he won fire, it wasn't going to boost his game enough to like. You know how some people like when they win fire, it's like, oh, that added to their game, or like the people who win
Oh.
final tribal, they're like, oh, you should have given up your necklace to go to fire to add to your resume. I would have thought that she would have put Joe and Jonathan against each other so that she could be like, Rizzo played the same game as me, but was garbage at everything else, and I'm better than him at that. And then Joe, you know what I mean, to let Joe and Jonathan fend for themselves. I just thought it was weird that she was letting Rizzo or Jonathan add to their resume and not Joe, even though Joe had the weakest of the three.
Yeah, I disagree.
I disagree as well.
I think it's just too big of a risk.
That's also fair.
I think she and
I
Rizzo
think
could
the
have
whole-
split votes on the jury.
Yeah.
Also,
And then she
also
could have
fair.
lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
Regardless,
I could see Suri giving Rizzo a vote instead of Aubrey if that happened, you know? Or like people like that, I could see.
Yeah.
So
Well, because Rizzo was in a different side of the alliance than Joe and Jonathan,
Yeah.
so it
That's
gave
true.
her more to.
He was more in the middle. Yeah, he was more in the middle of the Zoom alliance than
and
she was.
Rizzo's great at articulating.
That's a better argument. You're right. Rizzo is such
yes.
a better speaker than Joe
I'm
and
kind
Jonathan
of sad. Or sorry, I guess spoiler. Never mind. I'll be like, Jeff
Well, you're
over
better
here.
than Jeff.
Yeah. Okay, Jeff.
We'll talk about that in a second. So, regardless of how you feel, Joe's gonna go. So, we get the sequence where Rizzo has a meltdown. But I'm also not going to use the breakdown alert here because I feel bad. This kid has played 50 days of Survivor in the span of 59 days.
It was setting in.
His
He
brain
lost
was
50
broken.
pounds.
Did he
And
really?
Yes.
Yes, 50 pounds. Like
And
he
he was
probably
already
only weighs
tiny.
100.
Do you actually know that number, or are you just saying?
Yes.
That was
He
what was
literally
reported up.
he
Yeah.
posted it. And he
Mhm.
said exactly what you said. 50 days of playing Survivor in 59 days and 50 pounds lost.
Wow.
Like,
Jesus.
holy
Crazy.
shit.
I mean,
Poor kid.
Maybe I
Way
should
to
go on
away.
Survivor.
his girlfriend posted like a side by side of shirtless pictures of him from the start of 49 to when he had like the abs showing. And I was
abs?
like, girl, those aren't abs. Your boyfriend is malnourished.
Yes.
He's not doing well.
Please feed him.
Who needs Ozempic? Just maroon yourself
No,
on an
who
island.
needs Ozempic? Just go play Survivor, right?
But
Just
even
have your brain
though
broken.
Rizzo breaks down,
Mm.
even Jonathan, I don't know if Jonathan's faking nerves here, but he starts to get a little nervous because
Yeah.
Rizzo is practicing well.
He has, well, he's not.
Because
He's not. We'll get to that. But I thought Jonathan had a weird moment of, this is as close to self-reflection as we're going to get out of him, because he has a moment where he's like, man, I didn't realize how much trauma I apparently have. And he has this like realization. He's like this close to being like, maybe I should go to therapy. And then he like goes back to just being big man. But he was like, this is an interesting emotional reaction I find myself in. And then Rizzo's doing horrible. And Joe says, feel how you feel about Joe. I love Joe. Two things can be true. I can love Joe and disagree with how he plays the game. But I legitimately do, like, I like Joe. And regardless of how you feel, I think everyone here can agree he gives the quote of the season, where he's looking at Rizzo, and Rizzo's just literally whimpering and crying. And Joe, I think at one point he goes like, just like looks like Rizzo's going to cut his thumb off. And I think Mikey's frozen, but we're going to keep going. And
I was.
Okay. And he goes, listen, I told myself I wasn't going to do it again because I just helped Eva, but he just looked so sad. And then he goes, it's a sword fight. Please give everyone a sword. I was like,
that was a great
there's
line.
the episode title.
I agree with you, Pat. I can hate and not like Joe, the Survivor player, but the more I watch him outside of Survivor, I'm like, oh, he's a good dude.
He's a good
He is. He
guy.
seems
Yeah,
like
he's a good
a
guy.
really
I
cool
like him.
But
person.
good
Let's
guys
not
can be
forget he was the-
annoying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's not forget he was the front runner of 48 until like the final episode when he gets
So
duped by Camilla.
Kyle, I was gonna say until Kyle and Camilla eat him up.
But
The
until
total
then,
package,
everyone was
Kyle.
like, I don't see how he doesn't win. And now everyone's like, he's so stupid. And it's like 2 seasons ago, everyone was like, he's obviously the winner. Anyway, so Joe teaches Rizzo, who flips from I'm going to walk into the ocean and just die now to I'm one of the best fire makers ever in this montage specifically.
Yeah, specifically. They show him like what five different clips of him striking on the first strike.
He can
and he builds his
strike. He can
flame. I
strike.
He
was
knows
like,
how
good
to-
job, Rizzo. Right.
All right.
Yeah.
And then we go back
So
to the live finale.
let's go back.
Yeah.
I try, you know how hard it is for me to not get spoiled about anything in an episode? Because we do this,
It's so
my phone
hard.
and all of my whatever algorithms know that I'm always
Same.
talking about Survivor.
Right.
So it's just like I
Yes.
can't exist
Do
without
anything watching.
I'm never looking for information. It always is put in front of me
Just
by
comes to me.
and I didn't know anything about this finale. And then I watched the goddamn live feed and Jeff's like, "Hey, by the way, everyone, Rizzo lost at fire." And I'm like,
He
"Are
said,
you
Rizzo,
kidding?
come on out. I was
The
like,
call is coming from inside the house. Jeff, Jeff, what are you doing?"
meanwhile, the entire jury, Suri was ready to like stand up and be like, Jeff, no, babe, what do you do? Like,
He's
literally,
like-
they're all like,
He looks like she's gonna throw up.
D was distraught, very distraught because she's literally like, I ruined Rizzo's game. Survivor's ruining Rizzo's game.
Yeah. Was everyone else confused? Like, were you guys
I was-
as
Yeah, I was
confused as we
confused.
were?
So
would-
confused.
I truly couldn't believe until like now it's hitting me that happened. Like in the moment, it was so out of left field and shocking.
Yeah.
That even though I watched it and it was pretty clear, he was like, "This is what happens. There's no ambiguity in my statement. Rizzo loses." I was still like, that can't be what happens because
So
this
bad.
is the craziest thing ever.
I wonder
That's
what
wonderful.
happened. Like literally what happens. I
Do
have
you
to
have
remember
it
tea
We
time
can
on
talk-
this, Megan?
Megan, do you
Tea
have it
time?
for
All
tea
right,
Okay.
we'll
time?
get back to
Because
it.
I
Sweet.
saw many clips explaining, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I will say, I at one point, not to blame Pat, but I said I was watching with Bray and Pat, and we I think we told everyone we watched like later, so we're going through commercials. I literally looked at Pat and I was like, "Did you fast forward, bro?" Was this you?
You
No,
did
it wasn't
this.
Pat's fault, everyone.
So, mind you, I was not watching in live. Well, no, at this point, I was watching in live time because I sped up enough where I was up to live
caught
time.
up.
And so
Mhm.
I was like sitting on pins and needles and like sitting on my hands to not text anyone that wasn't watching live. And so then I get a text from Bree that just says, "Wait." And I was like, oh, thank God they finally got there. It was so insane. So insane.
All right, we'll talk about that at tea time. Let's get back to fire making.
Get back.
Which means we're at tribal.
We
Sorry, I
are.
had to
Correct.
give myself a cut in. Jeff once again does that thing where he lays out everyone's resumes, as if which maybe because they're so sleep deprived is probably helpful for them. But I feel like sometimes, like when he did it in the first episode, I'm like really putting everyone's game on blast, so they're gonna have to try and not get called out here.
No secrets, right?
Yeah, it's official that Aubrey's taking Joe. Rizzo gives a speech where I was like, it's like he's trying to pre-game Final Tribal. If he gets there, he's like laid himself a little extra runway, which I think he's smart to know he would need against Aubrey.
Yep.
I'll say this: these are the fanciest fire-making setups I've ever seen them have. It's like a marble slate. It's like they really usually it's just like whatever barrel washed up in the ocean.
Yeah. Like a log, right? Something
Yeah.
just, yeah.
That's when Jeff spoils it, and then Rizzo. It's like the montage never happens.
Yeah.
Did he even
Blown
get
out.
No
a flame?
underdog
No.
story. No.
No, he never got the fire going.
He got some sparks. But
You got Sparks, and we knew we could get Sparks.
Correct. I
yeah.
mean, like, it was literally, 49 and 50 fire making just replayed. Just a
Replay,
different person
exactly.
sitting next to him.
Yeah.
I felt bad.
Wow.
I felt really
So
bad.
bad.
He gives a great speech afterwards, and I was like, this is why Rizzo is great. Because he's so
Mhm.
poised for a 25-year-old who's just lost 50 pounds in 59 days. Like, he should be dead. Like, legitimately, he should be
Mhm.
not alive. And he is
Or at least
still
in an
so
ER.
articulate and so lovable. I know, like, not everyone loves him. Like, I know V hates him, but I haven't talked to her about this. But I would venture a guess that even V, who does not like Rizzo, would watch him give this speech and be like, "This is pretty great."
Also,
I still love Rizzo.
we forgot to mention
Yeah.
the greatest part of Rizzo was when he was sobbing about his lack of ability to make fire
Yeah,
and
he's
watching
still spelling
watching
out
his
his
2
name.
million. Yeah, watching 2 million slip away, and he's literally crying in the hammock, and he still spells out Rizgod. I was like, "What a
Is
guy!"
he double?
Like, he literally still spelled it out in between tears, and I was like, "That is
Consistent.
how you play a bit. That's how you make it on
That's
TV."
so funny.
That is
It was great.
Gen Z branding at its
Yeah.
finest.
Correct. Rizzo
Mhm.
was like, I might not win 2 mil in this one go,
I'm gonna get those
but
brand deals,
right,
baby.
I'm at least gonna. Hey, Tiff, same thing. If you guys were watching commercials, you'll
Elf.
see Tiff and Elf. She
We
got that brand
we
deal.
saw that, and I got yelled at because they were like, "You're skipping past a thing." I was like, "No, this is an ad.
No,
Like,
it's
everyone,
correct.
cool out." And because Brie was like,
We
"Who's
were like,
that
you
guy?" I
missed
was
the
like, "He's not in the
challenge.
show. This is an ad."
Right. It was yeah, just at least the showcase of they knew they weren't gonna maybe win Survivor, but they went and got their money
Yeah.
elsewhere.
Um, I will say this too because I talked last week about like with Rizzo's idol and how he played it, like could determine, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, his legacy and whether he's a great player that went far back to back or goes out like an idiot. Uh, he was again at risk because of losing fire making twice. Now, the second time is not his fault because it's not like he had time to practice in between.
Hmm.
But the first time certainly is his fault.
Right, to not
Right.
be prepped,
He
yeah.
easily could have gone out as the person who got blown out by fire making twice. Because Jeff has the slip up, I think everyone's going to remember the time Jeff ruined it, less so that
It did
Rizzo
save
lost
his
twice.
especially because of the fact that everyone just kept making the comments about how poor Rizzo is as a survivor, like camper, and how he does nothing around camp and is super lazy. And I mean, he played with Ozzy, Colby, John, like all these people who like ace makers when it comes to fire, and like you learned nothing, Rizzo, in your
Living off
20.
the land.
Yeah,
Right.
like you learned nothing from them in your 20 days of playing with them. Like, like
I don't
that's
think he
where it's like,
tried to.
yeah, right. Where it's like you knew, but to me, it's like you lost that way in 49 and you didn't have time to train for
Right.
50. But like, take this as an ability to be like, hey, Ozzy, you want to teach me how to make fire? Just in the
Yeah.
event that I ever need it. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, Rizzo, hindsight's 2020, but
Mhm.
Mm,
poor kid.
Just a kid from Brooklyn.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
He knows ball though.
Rizzo goes out to fire making. Jonathan wins, and we have our final three. It is Joe, Jonathan, and Aubrey. Oh, this is why I wrote down that Jeff lays out everyone's resume, because there was a moment where I had the thought, I don't know if I said this out loud, but I had the thought to myself, people online have been talking about how this is like the worst final five and they wouldn't have predicted it. And it's like, I'm not saying me, Mikey, calm down.
I know.
I
I know.
But
I just
people are
get
like,
mad.
what an oddball collection. And I was
I
admittedly
think
like,
it is.
but he laid out their resumes, and I was like, they're all pretty impressive. It's just that
Like,
they're not really people's fan favorites. Like, there's no
right.
Three, there's no Ozzy, there's none. Like, everyone
Devin.
wanted other people
Yeah.
to win, but
Yeah.
like they do deserve to be there. It
And
just
part of
happens to be the
I mean,
people you wouldn't have predicted.
but it's outplay, outwit, outlast, and all five of
Mhm.
them outlasted everyone else because they
Yeah,
at least flew under the
Listen.
radar, but built good enough resumes to be there. Like Rizzo arguably was the weakest of the five, and his resume was still really freaking good.
yeah.
Mhm. Listen, Russell Hans, not to quote Russell Hans, I'm not saying I like him, but he
Mark
like
this
has made
down.
multiple
Megan loves Russell Hantz. I
No,
actually,
no, 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 no. But he made multiple TikToks of this, and he was like the best player never wins Survivor. And
It's the
I don't.
truth.
There's some truth to it. I'm not saying
Yeah.
like there are definitely some good ones that win, but there's a lot of good ones that don't win. So
It's so
because
hard
they're
to
too
operate
good.
as Yeah, operate as the best without putting the target on yourself. It's impossible in the game of Survivor. I agree.
Hmm.
So we move on and we go to the beach before we have to get out and get back in again. And there's not much to talk about. They're doing their final day feast. And even though I was incorrect about when it happens, I want credit. I demand it from all of you that I called that they would bring a loved one
Family. Yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Yay! Good job, Pat.
We
They did
got
it in
Did call it.
the cheapest way possible. Survivor
Yes,
said
they
we have
did.
to do it when the fewest people are left in
Yep.
the game. So we only have to pay for so many tickets.
Yeah. They brought Aubrey's mom, who you can absolutely tell they're related.
Oh yeah.
Hmm.
They
Yeah.
brought
Joe's tall-ass wife.
tall-ass wife,
Is that my beautiful tall ass wife?
which is a weird thing to say, and then she gets out of the boat and you're like, oh shit, she is
Yeah,
super
and she
tall.
passed
Literally.
him like
Yeah.
Right. A
pats
whole
him
head
like
taller
he's a
than the man.
She
miniature.
seems like she
Right.
seems like a really cool person too.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that's not the point of this discussion, but just in the very little we got, I was like, she seems pretty great.
Mhm.
I would love to learn more about, like, she should play Survivor.
I think so too.
His beautiful
Blood
tallest
versus
wife,
water.
and Mario shows up.
Mario.
Jonathan's brother, who couldn't be more different.
Is that my brother?
And I was like, you sure?
Is that my brother? Stands up in the boat. For
I had the
everyone
same
on
reaction. I was
audio.
like, that can't be Jonathan's brother.
For everyone just listening on audio, the man stands up fully wearing blue overalls and a red t-shirt. Or no, blue t-shirt,
No
red
facial
overalls.
hair.
No facial hair. Hair
cut.
super short, clean
No
cut.
muscles.
No,
No
very,
muscles.
still tall though. He
Tall.
was a tall boy.
Yeah.
But like,
But
He looks like he
Opposite
could
ends.
wear Jonathan as like
Crazy.
an exoskeleton, like a robot.
Crazy how different. Pale too. I don't know if you guys still like. Obviously, Jonathan's been out in the sun, but like even before the game, he was
Short hair,
still
no
much
dreads.
tanner than this man. Yep. Just so
Normal
funny.
voice. That was the only thing we were robbed of. If he had a weird voice, that would have been amazing. Like if he got off the
Yeah.
boat and was like, "Hi, Jonathan," I would have died.
I did like that they got to feast with them though. That was cute.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
How it
sweet.
wasn't like feast then go meet loved ones. Like I thought that was really cute that they literally brought the food on the boat, which also precarious in itself. What like the plates were like on the table in the boat with like the food already laid out, and they're
They
like
could have brought it
carrying.
differently and then set it up for the shot, to be fair.
I hope, because I was like, that's weird.
I like that. I mean, granted, like Jonathan's brother, I don't know what he could do, and Aubrey's mom is, I'm not going to say she's old, but she shouldn't be the one carrying the food. Maybe Joe's
Yeah.
wife
No,
could have easily done it, but they make Jonathan and
probably.
Joe, who've been out there for 25 days, like, go get all the food and bring it out for us. And I was like, give them a break. Like,
No, they
there aren't
literally
people
were like,
on
yep.
there aren't like crew members in the boat that could bring it out for them.
Right. No, they said, no, you earned it, but you also still got to work for it. Come on.
You gotta. What if they had tilted it and it had gone into the thing just because their bodies are so frail they couldn't hold it up?
That's, again, just strange. Very, very strange that was their thought process.
Anything else, or can we go to Final Tribal?
Let's go.
FTC.
Mhm.
Woo!
We're at Final Tribal.
Woo!
And a lot happens, but I'm gonna be honest, we're already in our third session, so I'm not trying to take too long on this. Because I'm gonna say something that people may disagree with. I've never really loved Final Tribal in any of its formats. I understand the appeal, especially when it gets messy like this one does. But just something about it, it's never really been my most favorite. Because I have such a hard time, I think this is why, such a hard time not thinking about what I value, like if I were a jury member,
Mhm.
that when people disagree or whatever tangent they go off and all the yelling, and I can't stand when people come in and they're like, this is who I'm voting for, and
Right.
I'm going to try and sway the game from the jury. Like, I want them to just vote for who has legitimately the best. I want to hear more about the people's answers than about making it about
The
the jury.
question. Yeah.
Mhm.
And
I
I
wish
just-
they gave us a whole episode of Final Tribal so that we could see like honestly, you know what I mean? Like the actual honest conversations that happen, because I feel like they cut it so much that like people's answers get cut out, people like interrupt in certain points, like parts of questions get split too, so you don't even get the full context of the question. So I feel like they should just literally make it its own episode, because they usually take like an hour, hour and a half to deliberate, like, and chat with everyone, and you only get like what, 10 minutes of it in an
Yeah.
episode?
And we spent so much time breaking this game down that I feel like, especially this one, they weren't breaking the game down at all. And I'm like, I'm such a
No.
nerd for this stuff. I know this is more exciting for TV and it's what more people want because it felt like an old school tribal. But for me personally, I'm like, I want to hear their answers. I don't care what Stephanie has to say.
Right.
Correct.
So
Right.
I'm like, I'm bitter and I don't want to give them any airtime. So I'm going to turn this over to you guys. What do we have to say about Final Tribal?
Well, Mikey and I were just talking about the first note that I have is, and you know how they do the cutaway of the jury when they're saying what they're looking for and stuff. Coach explicitly says he is going to ask that question he asked, like, what is a value you have in your life that you don't, that you had to whatever. And he
Great
said,
question.
if it is a good question, it's a great question. So he said, I'm asking that, and I want Joe to own up to that he didn't play with honor and integrity. And if he does, he wins my vote. And I was like, that's honestly a good way to put it, Coach, because he was like saying
Which
he
is
should have
also
done that in
ironic for
South
Coach to
Pacific.
say, because Coach didn't do that in any of his seasons, and that's why he lost.
Right.
Well, that was what he kind
I
of
think
said.
that's
Like he
Coach's
didn't
point.
do that in South Pacific, and he lost. So he was like, if Joe does that, he deserves my vote. And Joe did say that. And guess
he
who didn't get Coach's vote? Like,
Yeah.
what the hell, Coach?
I have to say though, I think like saying that kind of statement, like this person's going to get my vote if this happens, is a really bold move because you just never know where the discussion's going to go in tribal. So
Well,
Coach should have not have said something like that.
I don't know when it was, because like it seemed to be that was one of the first questions that was asked. So it'd be one thing if he said it towards the end after a majority of the discussion took place, but in this sense, it looked like it happened so early on that I was like, that's kind of bold to say it before you hear everything else. I thought Devin's question, and Megan, you wrote it down in your notes, and I really agree. His question was really good about secret keeping, and like asked the three of them, when you had secrets, when did you blab, when did you not, why? I thought that was really good because all three of them, I think, did a really good job of hiding secrets. Also, sorry that there's a car alarm going off outside. If you can hear that.
Cannot hear it.
Can't hear it. But that just made me think of Emily, and I know she wasn't in the jury, but would have loved to hear her dumb answer to that question.
Oh, imagine she's just like, I let everything fly.
She kept the fake idol secret.
She did. Somehow, some way.
Oh, she did. You're right. She did. Good job, Emily.
I also
For
liked her
12 hours
question.
before Devin's revealed it to everyone.
Yeah.
True.
Emily's question about self-reflecting and critiquing your own game, I thought was really impressive too. I was like, oh, okay, Emily, yeah, like that was a good
Well, because
question.
that's what she did.
Yeah. There were some that were really thoughtful questions. But I don't know if it was production or just the nature of these players in Survivor. They didn't all get to answer, and it was really frustrating.
I think it was the way it was cut.
Me too.
Unless Joe's answers were just that bad. Let the man talk. My God, he got
I don't know,
interrupted
though.
every freaking chance.
Well, like Emily and Devins both made a point to be like, "Oh, Joe, I want to hear your answer." Like, "Oh, Joe," and I was like, "Damn, is he just getting cut off?" Like, I felt kind of bad.
And it was more. Jonathan was the only of the three, like of the three finalists that interrupted other finalists' answers. The jury interrupted a lot.
A lot.
I have so much to say about the jury that I don't want to, because like I said, I'm just kind of angry at them for making it about themselves, but I feel like I can't hold back. Before I say that, though, I liked Emily's point about, say what you will about Joe again, but whether or not you had the Jotation, everything did run through him.
Yeah.
Did he do anything with that? Separate issue. But she makes a good point. I don't think she's right that he's cracked the game, but that's not an irrelevant point to make.
I find it really funny though, because I just liked the stark difference between 49's jury versus 50's jury, because no one talked about that with Sage. Was sitting up there, and she was one of those where every vote went through her, except the one time she wanted to get Savannah and Sophie Segretti flipped the vote to get Jawan, to get Jawan out, and no one brought it up. Versus, it just shows the difference in level of gameplay, right? Where like Emily understood that going in of like, hey, you all can say that he flips, but you needed his number anyway. So like clearly he was an important piece to the game, and he made it work to his advantage. So it's just like we talked, like different juries value so many different things. So it's just very like, again, I was happy Emily brought it up because I agree. Like it wasn't, Joe didn't do a good job articulating his power in that, but there was so much power in his game by being oh, you have to convince Joe to hop on board.
And to the Jotation thing, I love Suri. I thought she went too far. I really thought she went too far.
Especially because that was so early in the game, the Jotation remark.
It was the first and only time I've seen Suri play where I was like, I don't like that. It just felt like
it was weird.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it changed anyone's minds. It felt like it was a little in poor taste.
Mm-hmm. You want to know whose statement did change everyone's mind, in my opinion?
Stephanie?
Megan knows. No. Well,
Ozzy.
No.
In a negative way?
In a negative way, Stephanie, yes. But
oh my God.
Ozzy's
statement, I think, got the entire jury to see the game.
Yep.
That was a good statement. Good quote, Ozzy. Who knew you had more than 2
brain
brain cells?
In like an acciddental way, too.
For anyone who didn't know the quote, Ozzy basically talked about adaptability and its importance to Survivor, and basically talked about how Aubrey was the most adaptable and asked them when they made their shifts, why. And he basically didn't like some answers. And then he called out Joe and Jonathan for saying every single every single tribal, they said we need to get out the middle. We need to get out the middle. And here you both are sitting right next to the middle.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Chef's kiss, Ozzy. Chef's kiss.
My other what?
I was just gonna say we could keep talking about Final Tribal, but do we need
My other more side note, this is more just funny, and I enjoyed it, and again why we say all the time Rizzo deserves a spot on TV. When Steph was doing the thing that we all were annoyed about, and made the comment people who just lay on the hammock all day and just strategize, make big moves. They panned to Rizzo, and he's like, I thought that was really funny. It's yes, thanks, Rizzo. At least you know it's you.
It was great. Literally waved to the camera. I was like, what a guy.
It gave me a little giggle, so thanks, Rizzo.
It did. It really did.
All right, so we get the votes. Aubrey wins Survivor 50.
In a resounding vote.
Yes. Before the season, I was absolutely one of the people that was like, I don't know about her. And during the season, pretty much until this week, I was like, I don't want her to win for some reason. But you know what? I am happy it was her. Would I have rather other people? Sure. But watching this episode, I do feel like she earned it. So I'm not upset about it.
I do too.
With how the chips were falling, she was the most deserving of those 3 to win.
Of the 3. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. Jonathan's going to come in second, and Joe is going to be a no-vote finalist. Again, I feel really bad. I understand why. I don't agree with the way he plays the game, but I feel remiss not to stand up for Joe, for the people that take shots at him online and be like, I really like Joe. I don't think the way he played jived with this cast at all.
No. Mm-hmm. And I would like to bring up the statistic between his 2 final tribals. He has only gotten 1 vote.
He's also only gotten 1 vote at any tribal council his name, which is impressive.
When you don't want your name written, Joe is good at having your name not written. When you do want your name written, Joe is also good at not getting your name written.
So that's the finale. Should we get into League Matters?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, do you want to do do we do tea time and move the week first, or do we?
Oh yeah, we can do that. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Mikey.
Keep in mind we're already on part 3 of this episode. So.
Mine might be shorter than Megan's. So, all right, everyone. Okay. My final move of the week.
Hold on, you got to give me a cue up here. It is Mikey's move of the week.
Thank you, Pat. So, final move of the week, everyone. Obviously, I had opinions. You've been listening to them for the last probably 50, 60 minutes. I got
we're
some more
well over
opinions.
that.
So my opinions for the week and great winning moves. Great winning moves was Rizzo in the fact that he actually at least owned up his strategy to Tiff of I can't win sitting next to you. Aubrey was a winning move of not saying anything to not make herself more of a threat to Joe and Jonathan. Loser moves. Joe and Jonathan literally got explained by Tiff. This is what's going to happen if you get rid of me. Tiff had the quote, "You're cutting the wires in the wrong order," and Tiff was proven correct. So who's the real winner? Who's the real loser? Again, might want to, be in fifth place rather than first place loser. Shout out Etsy. Etsy was a big winner this week, getting their free plug from Aubrey. And then my biggest losers of the week, Steph, this is Survivor. This is not Love Island. We don't need to hear how much you love Jonathan and how he's the total package. Wrong reality TV show, girl. You have a husband and kids. Like, please.
My opinion has never changed more on two people than Steph and Chrissy.
It was so bad.
And
I said
this to Bree too, and I need to highlight because Coach also was glazing Jonathan, and I don't mean to target the two women that were doing it. I just already had a low opinion of Coach, so my opinion didn't change of his. I liked Stephanie and Chrissy until they spoke. Now I do not.
And I think, again, biggest winning move was Tiff going out with a bang and basically being like, yep, I don't know if you all realize it. I'm going to vote Aubrey if she makes it to the final three because she said nothing to piss me off too much. And lo and behold, jury management is important. Jonathan, please do some self-reflection and realize that you cannot say throughout the whole season, oh, I was the driver of this vote. I was the driver of this vote. I was the driver of this vote. And then get mad when they don't vote for you at final tribal. Unfortunately, that is part of the game of Survivor. So you, my sir, are the biggest loser of the season, finishing in second place. And that has been my move of the week.
Thank you, Mikey. Which means it is time for Tea Time with Megan.
Woohoo! Everyone get your mugs for tea time. You like my Thanos mug tonight?
I appreciate that.
No. Thank you. So, all right, guys, let's see. First, we're gonna start out with like feel good, or this is like kind of feel good, but like also I don't know why I didn't think of it when it happened. Obviously we have the loved ones, like you said, everyone comes back. Well, I didn't think about that, like they have to, also send out Tiff and Rizzo's family. So we obviously see who they bring for the final three, but I heard from both Tiff, well, not me personally. I heard in Tiff and Rizzo's interviews who they brought, and it was actually really sweet. So Tiff said that her sister came out, and she was just really happy that she even made it to the final five because her sister her nephew is special needs, has cerebral palsy, and so her sister never travels or leaves or does anything. Like she didn't even have a passport, and she literally went and got a passport so that she could go to Fiji. And like she was just happy that she gave her sister the opportunity to, even though she didn't get to see her, she still got to go to Fiji for 24 hours, which I thought was really sweet. That was really cute. And similarly to Rizzo, his mom was the one who got sent out. And he said he really didn't think that his mom would because she doesn't like to travel. So he assumed it was going to be his girlfriend, who we see all the time on Liz God.
Liz God,
correct.
Yes. Everyone sees on TikTok. But so he was like, he didn't even realize it. And then I think it was after Final Tribal, Aubrey said to him and was like, my mom loves your mom. And he was like, what? And he had no idea. And I guess like their moms hung out at Ponderosa.
Aww.
And he said, isn't
cute.
that so cute? And he said like the same thing, like to him, it was like so special because he started watching, with his mom. And he said to her, like, one day I'll get you out there. And so like, same thing, even though she didn't get to see him on the island, like she still got to go out and like have that experience. So I thought that was really sweet and very cute for both of them to talk about. So very cute. Now let's talk about other tea. What else do we have here? Do we want to talk about the fire blunder and what Rizzo said happened?
Sure.
So
yeah.
So they talked to Rizzo after and they were like, dude, what the happened? Oops, sorry, Pat.
We made it the whole time. So long. It means I'm gonna have to listen back to this whole hour and a half just to find it.
So basically, Rizzo said they're all in the green room, like watching together, which is funny in itself. Like Joe said, that's he wouldn't recommend. Super awkward to watch the episode with the people that you're voting out. Like watching Tiff break down next to him was really awkward. But anyway, so they're all watching it together, and Rizzo's like, okay, like, whatever, here we go. I'm about to go out and fire. And then they cut for a commercial, and then they go and they're like, okay, Rizzo, come on out. And he literally was like, are you sure? Now? Now you want me to go out? And they're like, yeah, come on. And he was like, oh, okay. And he was like so confused, and he was just like, well, Jeff must have something in mind that he wants to do. So like, I guess I'll just kind of play it up and be really, win or lose. I don't know what's gonna happen, and
He
he
did a
tried
good
to really
job.
be like,
He
He
did.
did.
he did. And then he didn't even realize it. He said like he was getting confused because then like Joe, or I keep calling Jeff Joe. Jeff made the comment like, oh, about camp life and everything. And Rizzo was like, uh-oh, this isn't good. And then when he pushed him to the jury, he was like, oh, this is not what was supposed to happen. So he said like, he didn't blame Jeff, and like he played it off really well and all that stuff. Like he was
He wanted
obviously
to still
very
get
nice
invited
about it.
back for a future season.
Right.
Exactly. But he did say he felt really bad for like, his family and everyone is on the East Coast. And he just said like he felt bad for everyone that he knew was at home, like getting ready to root for him and then have it spoiled. So that was pretty sad. Um, and then what else do we have here? The only other thing that after we were just talking about Jonathan and everything, I have to say, listening to all the interviews, like it's one thing to listen to people when they get voted out, like, and they've watched the show and now had a year to like come to terms with it. Listening to Jonathan after he just found out he lost was so painful.
It's a bad
Like
look for the Q skirts. I'll be real. It's a bad look for
I
my
felt
team.
Awful.
I felt so bad.
For
I felt
who?
so he was
The
literally
person interviewing
crying.
him,
He's a jerk. Megan, he's an
I
awful
I
human.
I could just say I was sympathetic. Like he
No.
literally like he was asking people, like he went on Tyson's and he was asking Tyson like what he needed to change in his game already for the next time he went back, because like clearly he did something wrong, and like they had to be like, you really played a great game. Like you played against huge people. Like it's okay. And I just kind of felt bad. And he said like he didn't think he was gonna win. Like he knew when he was going against Aubrey, it was a rough shot, but he said he had like a 10% hope that maybe he won, because I guess everyone else revealed to everyone who they voted for, but Christian, Emily, and Devins would not tell anyone who they voted for. They were very adamant that like they wanted to keep it a secret. So he didn't think he swayed them, but like we see that part where like Christian realizes that like he purposely like started the fight with D and everything, and Christian's like, oh, like that was pretty good. So he was like, maybe I swayed them, and he had like a very small hope that he might win. So it was just like I said, it was very sad to watch because everyone else that talks about it has already come to terms with it, and he didn't
he
yet.
was still in denial.
I've been
Yeah,
seeing a lot of opposites of his interviews. I've seen he's like kind of still not self-reflecting in how poor his jury management was, and he thinks that he played a perfect game and that he deserved to win. He called it. He
You're
said
just
that he
getting
claimed it was a bitter jury, and that Sari was chatting up with all the other
I
jurors
saw
at
that too.
Ponderosa and planned his demise.
Yes, but you guys are just seeing the sound bites. Like I listened to the whole like 15 minutes for both Tyson and Sharon Thorpe, I think it is, that those were from. And he did say that, but he also said, like he was talking about what studying he needed to do, and he kept crying, and I felt bad.
Oh,
I don't want him to
I
be
don't.
upset. Okay.
Sorry. I can't handle it with the fact that one of his arguments that I saw was he was mad that Dee voted for Aubrey because his claim was Dee never played with Aubrey the entire time we were on the island, and she played with me the whole time before she got voted out. Oh,
He did,
shocker,
but
Jonathan. The person you got to get voted out first on the jury didn't vote for you. Like, I don't
he
get it.
yes, he did say that, but he also said he just thought that Aubrey would respect his game and like having a say in the votes and everything, which I can understand why he would potentially think that. So, like I
He has a
said,
very old school approach to how he views the game. It's not as
Yes.
fluid as it needs to be, I think, is what the
Oh,
point is.
Yeah.
yes, that's what I was gonna say. I thought it was very clear too. Like, Aubrey says at the end, like, oh, like Sandra taught me to do this, like Sarah Lacina taught me to do this, and then Jonathan said Boston Rob coached him, and I just feel like that was very clear in like
Apparent.
both of their games. You know, like you could tell that Boston Rob coached him, just the way he approached it and stuff. So,
Fair.
yeah, but that's tea time.
Thank you. All right, so now it is time finally for League Matters. Let's talk about the scoring plays of the week. Scoring plays of the week, pretty straightforward. There was only one vote in terms, because we don't, like, the jury members don't get points for their votes. So the majority vote went to Aubrey, Joe, Rizzo, and Jonathan. Basically everyone but Tiffany, because Tiffany got voted out. Individual immunity goes to Jonathan and also Aubrey. Different rounds, the same episode. Rizzo gets points for playing a basic idol. He gets a slight penalty for not needing to, which is, I feel bad about, but that's the way the rules are written. It's hard to take into account. Very few people have an idol and just wait to the end to play it because they like need to play it. I guess maybe over the off season we'll review that action and when it's applicable.
Well, I think there was no idol played well other than Devin's, right? Every idol that was played this season was played and no names were written or went home in their pocket. Yeah.
Well, that's why we have that slight penalty is in the past people have been duped into playing their idol that didn't need to, but we haven't had a situation yet until Rizzo where someone like played it just because it was use it or lose it. So we'll adapt that in the off season, but that's how this game is. We can't change the rules in the middle of the season.
Fair enough.
Jonathan gets credit for winning fire making, which is we've handled traditionally as another individual immunity, because it's basically making yourself immune from the final four. And Joe gets credit for coming in third for the season. Jonathan gets credit for coming in second. Aubrey gets credit for coming in first. And those are your scoring plays of the week. It is time now. We're going to do things out of order. We're going to do the weekly awards first. Then we're going to do the final season standings.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Give the winner their flowers at the end.
Right. So it is time now for your weekly awards. All right, so your weekly awards. First, we have your Have the Numbers award. This goes to the 3 tribes that scored the most points during the episode. Have the Numbers this week is Heidi, Brenna, and Emily. All of them had Jonathan. They probably also had Joe. Maybe Emily didn't have. I don't remember who Emily had. Maybe Emily had Aubrey and Joe. But they all had more than one person in the end.
Yes, you are correct. They all have Jonathan and Joe.
Thank you. Which leads us to your bottom of the tribe. The lowest scoring teams of the week. Bottom of the tribe this week was Mikey, Patrick Shiring, and Mulcahy. A reminder that the people who have been on Exile Islands were not eligible for awards because obviously they would have all scored 0. There were many other people that scored 0 points, but these 3 had worse consistency metrics. So,
and I had the ability to score points, so let's just call a spade, right? Is still getting 0. Go me.
Yes. Which brings us to the, is it most or least consistent next? It's the most consistent. Yeah. V dethrones Christina.
Christina and Emily, right? Were the last couple. Yeah.
Christina has had it for a couple weeks now. V ends the season. So this is a season-long award. This isn't really just a weekly award because this is your consistency over all of them. V ends the season as the most consistent team in our league. Which brings us to our least consistent of the entire season. It's me. It's
Oh,
me because
this
yeah,
episode.
because everyone else that I would be worse is ineligible. And I've been up and down. I was at the top. I was like in second or first. Then I was in second to last. I've jumped around a lot. So, and because Jonathan had a big week this week with points, that obviously had a great week. So that is changed up. But I end the season as the least consistent tribe of all. Which means next is a negative award. One last time, we have to take the flint of somebody. Who's flint? Who's going to end the season without a flint? It is Mulcahy. Mulcahy fell 3 spots in the leaderboard this week. I don't remember where he was, but he's 3 spots lower this week. And we have to end the weekly awards, which are really the season awards at this point, with a hearty, that's how you do it on Survivor.
Aye, oh, let's go. Aye, oh, let's go. Aye.
Which also goes to me. This is the first time I've ever
Good
won
job,
this.
Pat.
I climbed 7 spots.
Nice job.
I climbed 7 spots this week. Big week for the Q skirts.
I think that there needs to be an asterisk next to this of how many people did you jump that were on exile?
Only one.
Oh, did you still lose to Megan?
No,
Woof.
I beat Megan.
Whoa.
I
was about to say we haven't revealed that yet, but
fair.
I was
fair.
I was already ahead of everyone else.
But last episode I was like, "There's no way you're beating Megan."
And yes, the Kyla curse, man.
Yes, the Kyla curse strikes again.
Oh,
Brianna!
Woohoo!
Bree and Aubrey. Look at that.
Yes.
Oh, look at that.
Thought about that every time her name was written down. I was like, there's my name nestled in.
Bree, you're just joining us. We're ending weekly awards, and we did weekly awards before season standings. So you're right.
Okay. Okay.
You're about to get revealed the winner here.
Yes. So I'll tell you this. I was doing the math live on my phone before Final Tribals during a commercial break, and I was trying to figure out what happened to Jeff. And before Jonathan, if he came in third, I would have lost to Megan by half a point.
Wow.
Announcing this to us live while we were watching, and I was like, "Do you care about the show or just beating Megan?" Like, what?
Let's talk about priorities.
I've never ended as low as I have in the league this season, so I need
Must
to
be nice.
Yeah, all
This is
right,
the
all
highest
right.
I've ever finished.
Megan's only seen a 2 in front of her.
Yeah, so it is time for the final season standings. All right. Are we ready for the final reveal of the season standings?
No.
Well, we start again with the pre-merge boots. Oh, sorry. Nope, that's fine. As a reminder of what's at
Scared
stake.
me.
No, I added extra
Pulling a
slides.
Jeff.
So, as a reminder, because we will obviously reveal the winner, a historical walk through our winner's wall. Brad won our very first ever season in season 48. Christina, who that picture is only fuzzy because I had to blow it up, so I apologize, Christina. Christina won our second season of the game with Survivor 49, and we're about to reveal the next addition to our winner's wall. So we start with the pre-merge boots. This is all of us. Bree finishes in last. Kayla finishes in second to last. Kyla just ahead of her. Tristan in 25th. Brian in 24th. Nora is in 23rd. Mulcahy in 22nd and in 21st. Then we hit a stretch of the Calabrese siblings. Mikey, then Megan, then Matt. Then
That's funny.
That's hilarious.
Then me. I made it up to 17th. Then Sharon, who beat me, almost beat me out for the award. She had Jonathan as well. Then Loomis, and those are your pre-merge boots. That's the bottom half of your league.
I would just like to note that I'm very happy that I at least beat Nora, a team that was comprised of the wheel and only had 2 people at one point.
Yes, that's
And
true. I forgot that happened.
She only had 2, yeah.
when we had allegations that the league here had some that we were profiting for ourselves because now we're all in the losers.
Yeah.
True.
Yep.
Conspiracy died.
Yeah. So which brings us to the jury, which is the top half minus the podium. Scott sneaks into 14th. Christina, our last season winner, in 13th, which is obviously worse than winning, but we have more people in the league this year. We have 28 for season 50. So to finish in the top half of 28 people is still pretty good.
That's still pretty good.
Greg is in 12th. Kelsey climbs out of the basement
Good
into
job, Kels.
11th this week. She moved up 4. Patrick
Share
firing in 10th. Then Jazz. Alex is in 8th. V, who remember was your most consistent player of the season, is in 7th. Ryan Shiring in 6th. Drew is in 5th. Drew drops out of the podium this week. And my mom, just outside of the leaderboard. Again, before the final tribal, she was actually in maybe 2nd or 3rd. But then final tribal, and people jumped up ahead of her.
Dang.
Almost hit 200 too.
Yes. No ties.
Yeah.
No ties on the leaderboard at
Wow.
all this year. So all that effort on narrowing down the consistency metric was for nothing. All
You
right.
gave yourself an award out of it, though, you know? To at least
Yeah.
give yourself some
Yeah,
credit.
I was playing the long con. It was a meaningless award. So I have broken up the podium into individual slides. Finishing in 3rd this season is Emily.
Woo!
Emily snuck into
Good
3rd
job,
last
Em.
time. So Emily's finished, I think, 3rd 2 seasons in a row. She's played last season and this
Wow.
season. She's finished 3rd both times. I'm really nervous about her next time we play.
She was
Mhm.
also high up on the leaderboard the whole season, right? Like, I don't
Yeah.
think she's
Yeah.
ever,
Yeah,
good
she
for
knows what
her.
she's doing.
hmm
Scanty scallywag.
Those scanty scallywags.
Finishing in 2nd this season is Smith.
Woo!
Wow.
Woo!
He got pranked.
Heard what we said about him
Crap.
preseason about needing to step up, and he stepped up. Really pulled his weight this season.
Love that for him.
Mhm.
hmm It was a trap. He had no chance at first, sadly.
Which means we can finally officially award our Survivor Fantasy Islands Season 3. Our brand new winner is Brenna.
Yay!
Good job,
Yay,
Brenna.
Brenna!
I will be putting that picture on the picture wall. I updated the scores, so I don't know why I didn't update our spreadsheet with the official little image, but I'll put that up later.
That's a good picture of her. Is that from her wedding?
That's from her
Yeah.
wedding. Yeah, I wish it actually didn't have to be cropped because she's like below the screen. She's like holding flowers, and it's a very nice picture, which I did. I asked her for permission to use. I feel like if you won, there shouldn't be a gotcha moment where I just find a random picture that you don't like.
Unless it's
Well,
Greg.
this should be just as exciting of a day as her wedding day, winning the Survivor.
Yeah.
And beating Greg.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes,
here's
and
how the
beating
whole
Greg.
leaderboard
Wanted.
ended. I will reveal to you that the Greg and my mom beef got squashed yesterday
Oh.
for
Because Heidi
about
kicked his
30
ass,
seconds.
or
I was
For
going to say,
about
because
30
Greg had
seconds.
no argument.
No, so I was out to lunch with my mom yesterday, and Greg texted me because I had to clarify if they had watched because I needed to like tell Brenna like I'm gonna send you the money, and also is this picture good and blah blah blah. And Greg, he said, "Hey, congrats to your mom for climbing up the leaderboard so high." And I was sitting with her, and I was like, "Oh wow!" I was like, "Oh, Greg said this," and she took a second. She goes, "You know, if I had been in the top 3, I was gonna try and post and make an alliance with Brenna to make sure that she doesn't share any of her winnings with him." And he immediately texted back and was like, "I rescind what I said fully." So it's now my mom's fault. She chose to not accept the apology.
I'm excited for season 4 now.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
It's funny. I want to start a new beef. Who can we like turn against each other?
So this is our will update. All right, let me stop sharing. It is time for the final of the season, Breeze Superlatives.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Can I say also, I think every week we do this is the week I get copyright struck, so I think that we're going to need to change the theme next week or next time.
No, not the jellyfish jam.
I know. SpongeBob runs a tight ship on YouTube.
Fair.
It's also a game, so it's not a superlative. But I will tell you what the premise of the game is. So the premise of the game is I broke all of us up into teams of 4, and they're random. They're not. I didn't choose them. And so the first question is going to be, out of each team of 4, who do you think would be the first boot? And then 2 teams are matched together, and out of those 2 teams, like of 8 people, who would be the one to win
an immunity challenge?
Like a tug of war.
Yeah,
I like it.
All right.
So you got a couple matchups, and here's my screen. Here's the first 2 teams. So team 1 is Drew, Mulcahy, Skirker, and Pat Shire. You got all the Pats and Drew.
All the Pats.
No, almost all the pets.
I think that makes my answer very easy.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's
voted out.
Yeah, I think there's a
one odd man.
Yeah.
There's a Pat Alliance. Drew's out of here.
Yeah, sorry, Drew.
I would agree with that. Actually, now seeing it, team 2, Kayla, Emily E, Brian, and Scott.
Ooh.
Sorry, Brian.
I think Brian's
I was
out.
thinking too. I think
Brian will be seen as a threat in this group.
Mm-hmm. I think
see
Scott. I think Scott works his way to make sure Kayla and Emily know that he'll work with them later
Protected.
on in the game.
I think
Scott's a
Brian
girl's
and your
girl.
dad clash on how to most accurately build the shelter. I think Emily bonds with your dad naturally, and I think Kayla is like, I know the least people here, so I'm going to jump on the majority. Brian's out.
Got it.
Smart moves.
So then the question is, who's winning tug of war between these 2 teams?
Us, not even close.
Wow.
I'm
The
going
Pats.
team 1. Yeah.
The Pats.
Yeah.
Okay, next matchup. This is going to be for a puzzle challenge. I don't know who the people are. I'm just making things up as I go.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Loomis. Bye, Loomis.
Okay, well,
sorry, dog.
Loomis is gone.
Sorry, Loomis.
Or girling. Yeah, we're
Yes.
Yeah.
Only because of the pre-existing relationship.
Yeah, alliance.
Right.
The Zoom
Correct.
alliance.
This is the
Otherwise-
Zoom alliance.
I would work with Loomis otherwise.
Loomis just got Genevieve, okay?
Yeah.
It was a poor rock draw. It was not good.
And the other team,
Ooh.
Mikey and Tristan. Ooh.
I have thoughts.
Either my mom and Mikey clash.
Or ally.
No, we're aligned.
I think
We're
it
so
could be-
aligned.
I think Tristan's
Mikey-
gone.
I don't know.
I think Mikey goes first for playing too hard.
I think it could be V. I think V could be too nice and then just
It
be
could
like,
be V because I think that it's possible. My mom is just plays old school and is like, who's doing the most around camp?
Mm-hmm.
And it could go either way with Tristan because I don't know Tristan very well at all. And I really can't decide how V would be at camp. So I don't know.
Tristan's a swimmer, so he'd probably be good at fishing.
This
We
one might
also-
be a rock draw team.
Do we also, Brie, do we know who, do we know that it's a puzzle challenge for the 3v3 or no?
Yeah. Puzzle
we-
challenge. Who wins?
That's
Well,
hard.
I don't think it's hard at all.
I don't know that I don't know. That
My
I would-
mom,
Mikey's
my
pretty
mom
good at
will
puzzles.
crush a puzzle.
Oh, so
then
can
Heidi and
Mikey.
then that's why I was asking, because if Heidi's good at puzzles, then we got it locked.
One of my mom's
Okay,
things that she does is just sits and does puzzles.
I'm gonna.
Build
All
enough
right. Well,
Legos.
then Bree, we're losing.
We're losing because my mom's not a strong puzzler. I'm sorry, Mom. That's just not. Bring us
Sorry,
Nazi
Mom.
props.
Your
I cannot
mom,
hold
instead
this
of doing the
team.
puzzle, your mom would be sitting there and be like, Jeff, can we do a craft instead?
Your tribe, your beach flag would be the best. That is fair.
Easily. Not even
Yeah.
close. Easily.
Okay, next matchup. No, there's one. Okay, there's 2 more. This one's gonna be a swimming challenge. I don't know. Water challenge.
Okay.
Water
Ooh.
challenge.
Okay.
Well, I'm
and
gonna tell you right now,
Smith
Christina and Alex are gonna clash hard.
Oh, okay. So you
Smith
think
would
one of them
bond
gets
with
to
Alex,
lose?
but Smith is adaptable. Smith may just hang out with Anne the whole time.
Okay, so then
Yeah.
Christina's probably going.
Well, I could see
I think
Christina
so.
also rallying them to target Anne and do a younger versus older person thing.
Mm.
Mm.
I'm still thinking Christina's out.
I think
I
it's
was also
Christina.
thinking
Plays too
Christina.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same reason as Mikey.
Ooh, other one.
What about this one?
I think this is my Nora plays a Hannah from 45 moment and says, "Guys, I'm done. Let the wheel decide my fate."
I don't know.
But-
I think Kelsey would do that too, though.
Oh, okay, that's fair. I think there would be this group is one of those
Oh.
where they might want their own bed
Yes.
and they might sacrifice for the group.
Yes. Kelsey's like, I gotta go home to Toto. Sorry.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
Kelsey's out. I think, yeah.
I agree.
Okay, who's winning in the water challenge here?
I'm going
I
team
think-
5.
Yeah, Team 5.
I think so. Yeah. No offense, Team 6.
You're out. You're done. And then I had to recycle Team 1 for this one for the head-to-head. So the last team, and then face Team 1 for the
hell yeah.
Team 7
Gross food.
spicy.
Ooh.
Oh,
Team 7
gross
spicy
food,
because it's a
Bree.
2 for
Oh.
2.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg's gone.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
caliber
could easily
slides
sway
go.
Brenna to join me and Matt.
You think
It's a
so?
caliber on
Like,
Team
I
7.
think
easily
so.
out of here.
I don't think so.
Well, what if
I think they cut Megan. I think it's
No.
a Greg. No, well, here's the thing. This is how I think it's going to go. I think there's a vote, and you can't sway Brenna. So there's 2 votes on Greg, and there's 2 votes on Megan, which means there's a revote. No, Matt and Brenna don't change their minds. So now Megan and Greg are safe, which means they're going. And then they still can't agree. So now they're going to rocks, and it's a toss up between Matt and Brenna. And I just feel like Matt is somehow more likely to get screwed by rocks.
Oh no.
That's
what
not
a
a bad
scenario.
theory. That is, I would
Bad
agree.
theory. That's not a bad theory.
That's a good scenario, Pat. I'll take it.
Yeah, of course you will.
And then wait, Bree, you said the challenge is
What's the
grub
challenge?
eating. Oh wait, sorry. Team
Gross-
1,
gross
Drew's
food.
still gone. Sorry, it doesn't.
Yeah, Drew's still out. The Pats remain, but
but it's
gonna
like
be
a
like
grub eating, gross food.
yeah.
I'm
and
gonna be honest.
Team 1.
I sink the ship for
Patrick's.
my team here.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we would have a hard time, but we would edge out Megan
Yeah.
and Brenna. Greg, I feel like would be weirdly good at it, and Matt would be like me and
Matt
not
might be
love
good at
it,
it.
but would get it done.
I don't think you would be good at this. I'm gonna tell you right now. You have a tough time with asparagus, so I don't know about the
But if it were for $1 million,
yeah.
If there was enough hot sauce on it, I think Pat gets screwed.
Wow.
That might help me in this case because I would rather the devil I know and only taste the hot sauce.
That's
than
fair.
the
That's fair.
consistency.
I don't believe
So-
that.
I'm
I
gonna
like
say
this
Team
game,
1,
Bree.
but it's a really
It's
close, and no one has
Yeah.
fun. Let's
It
Well,
is
I'm
right.
gonna
It's
have-
down to the wire. It's down to whoever can like truly swallow and like stick their tongue out first.
Who can
I'm just glad I got
swallow?
on the team with Kyla and my mom.
What'd you
All
say, Bree?
I said I'm just
Yeah, I
glad
didn't
I
hear.
I just glad I got put on a team with Kyla and my mom to do crafts on the beach.
Yeah.
Good rock
I
tries, not
I
Genevieve.
would like to tell the group, Matt and I were discussing like the heroes versus villains episode a couple weeks ago, and Matt just wanted everyone to know that of this group here and plus him, he said hands down Bree is the best Survivor player of everyone.
What?
No, he doesn't
Yeah.
watch the
Bree is the
show.
closest. I think
Yay!
Bree's the
That's
closest to
bad.
Suri out of us all.
That's what
I
Matt
think so,
said.
too.
Matt said Bree's sweeping the floor with all of us. I was like, wow, okay.
But none
You
of
know
us,
what? I can't argue.
none of us are dumb enough to take Bree to Final Tribal.
Fair.
Well,
That's why she's 3.
That's right. Like we said, the best never wins.
Yeah,
You
I'm
didn't
not-
say she
I'm
was
not
the
going
most
up in a
winningest
jury
Survivor.
vote. I'm not going up in a popularity contest against Bree. Are you kidding me?
I fear that I'm similar to Tyson as a Survivor. That's what we should do. What is your comp next season? There should be a yeah. Who are you most like on a
I
Survivor
think
Island?
it's a shared note, Mikey. We can get that going.
Oh yeah.
All right, it is time after a very lengthy episode. But you know what? It was a 3-hour finale, so sue us. And we're not doing another one of these for a long time.
We'll see about that.
We'll do them in the off season. We're not doing it every week. This is killing me.
Yeah.
So
monthly.
Your brief thoughts on the league and the season, and it's time for confessionals. And let's start with Kyla because she's on the biggest time crunch.
I really didn't prepare today for my confessional. I'm super excited. I think last episode I said for a new litter. I still am excited about that. I'm excited to go into like a normal season. The season was a ton of fun. And it was really exciting to watch old seasons, but I'm kind of looking forward to getting back to, new folks and not really knowing their history and seeing some surprising just gameplay, just because we don't know people. So excited for next season.
We didn't even talk about the preview when they're bringing back every twist they've ever done, which
Yeah,
everyone I
every
think was
twist.
excited about, and it was my nightmare because I'm like, I got to program all that into the sheet.
True. Just fire tokens though. No fire tokens.
Yeah, that's
I
actually
hope.
my biggest fear.
Fingers crossed. I hope they don't.
All right, well, let's go to Mikey then next.
Oh my God. Thanks. So my shout out to all of you because you make this so much fun. So I really appreciate you guys for all of the efforts that you go to make us, have some fun outside of work. So it's very, very appreciated. My confessional is the influence that Suri has on Survivor is insane. The next era is called the Open Era, and she talked about polyamorous relationships. So she influences
That's
Survivor
true. That's
without
true.
even realizing it. The power of Suri Fields. And I also would like to note that Kyle is the only male winner of the last 5 seasons.
That's true.
So the boys need to start figuring their ish out and realize that you cannot vote out all the women and leave a singular woman who is well liked on your final tribal and expect to win, because girlhood is triumphant over
Girl
it all.
power.
So
That's right.
go ladies.
So you're advocating for Jonathan's approach then?
No, I'm telling Jonathan that he was dumb.
Agree.
Once more,
I tried to
he
get
was
him one more time.
foolish.
Just for the last time this episode.
Yeah.
One more time for everyone. He doesn't have a brain.
No. Well, that's
He was the scarecrow in the
no
Wizard of
one's,
Oz.
no one's ever thought he did. All right, Megan, your final confessional of the season.
Yeah, same thing as Mikey. Thanks, Pat, for always putting together the league and it being really fun. I obviously really enjoy talking to all the friends about Survivor, and I feel like there's so many people now that have joined the league that gives everyone stuff to talk about and catch up on, which is always very fun. And then the other thing in my confessional is this was criminal. Doing this,
Yeah.
giving Ozzy a gag T-shirt was criminal, and
Ozzy said, "I get a T-shirt."
Suri, here's your own award. Rick Devens, here's the coin that you flipped to change Survivor history. Ozzy, you suck.
Go to therapy. He's literally like, you need some help.
Shady.
Right. Jeff's like, how do you sleep at night, man?
And you have to stand next to Stephanie in this cutaway while it happens.
Just
and
messed up.
he handed out T-shirts to the audience. Like, here, everyone, put this
They made
on.
him do that. They gave him and Stephanie a bunch and said, you got to throw them out now.
Oh, that's poor. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so mean. That's so mean.
Criminal. Anyway, that's my confessional.
Here's my 3 things really quick. 1, Megan's predictions for the final votes at Final Tribal were unmatched. So even though you had 16 sheets on that Excel, Megan, that was unparalleled. So
thank you. Thank you.
Second of all, first season I finished second to last. The next season I finished in second. Now I finished in last. So if we're just following trajectories.
Watch out.
That's true.
Big season
Everyone
coming
look
up.
out.
And I would like to propose, so this is going to be our season 4 in the fall. I'm just throwing it out and sprinkling the seeds. I think for season 5, we need to do a big league get together, like cookout party, and really go off. So next spring,
everyone get ready.
That'd be fun. I would do that. Mm-hmm. That's a great idea.
Love it.
All right, it is, I guess, my confessional. I say it all the time. I love doing this. It's a lot of work, but it's really fun to hang out with everyone and share our love for this show in the most absolutely insane, ridiculous way. I love, like, it's always embarrassing when we're out and we're like, oh, what are you guys watching? And we're like, oh, I got to go into this whole thing about how we're freaks about the show. But, like, I love that it comes up in work meetings. I love that it gives us an excuse to reconnect. I'm having a lot of fun. I really love the show. And I'm excited to keep doing it. I have I have one idea that I've actually been trying to work into the league scoring since the beginning that I have not done yet, but I think I'm about to crack it. Bree and I talked about it. Bree and I stand on opposite sides of how to do it. But next season, don't quote me, but next season, I think there's one thing we have not brought into our league. We have confessionals. We have all of our segments. We have all these things that we've worked in. we have not worked in alliances yet. And I am working on a way. It may not happen, but my tease for next season is I'm trying to find a way to work in alliances. And the heroes versus villains game was kind of a stab at figuring out how to draw some of those lines. So that's, stay tuned for that. And if it doesn't happen, I will retroactively cut this part out of this episode. So this has been The League Has Spoken. I don't know when the next time is that we're going to do this. We'll have 1 or 2 episodes during the off season to discuss fun things, like if we bring back theme seasons, what are some new themes we should do? Or if you had an all-stars of the new era cast, who would you cast? Fun things like that are meaningless. But we're definitely going to take a break for a while because we've been doing this every week, and I'm editing the whole thing on my phone. So this is a lot of effort. So whenever that is, we'll see you next time. But this has been The League Has Spoken for SFI Season 3. See you in Season 51.